Well, very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Sim live stream. Today's 20th of December 2024. It's 3 minutes past 4 in the evening. We're back in X-Plane 12 in the Threshold LevelUP 737. Now, this aircraft was released, what, 2-3 years ago? We flew it. It was okay on release, improved textures and sounds, and then it never got updated again. But then the team, I think, have been squirting away the last few months and updated it to bring compatibility to X-Plane 12. It's basically the ZIBO mod 737 on steroids with an improvement in textures and sound quality, some jinking to the flight model as well. You can download it completely for free if you use the command !aircraft. You'll get the link in chat for you to download that, or just type it in Google. I had a little test flight this morning. It's nice. It handles in a similar way to the 737, but there's certainly some differences to the ZIBO mod, which I'm not a big fan of. We'll point out today as well. The first build was too draggy. This one is a little bit too slippier, but otherwise it's a nice improvement, and the idea is that we'll fly a real sector, or a real live sector, as close to possible to test things out. So here we are in South Africa, live time, live weather in Durban, first ever time here, flying to Cape Town, where there is a VATSSA event taking place this evening. It'll be a lovely sunset into Cape Town this evening, as well as we fly live time. Nice weather conditions as well, around 2 hours, a little bit longer than the usual flight time as well. But we'll have some fun, we'll see what's what, and go from there. And of course, it's nice flying a 737 whenever we do fly 737s on this channel, because it's the only thing I know how to fly. Last day was yesterday. I've been flying all week. I hope you all had a very nice Christmas as well. 2 days in the sim, Christmas Day, and then I've just done 2 days of line training in all of this foggy weather which we're experiencing in the UK. So I've done auto lands all week, Cat 3 approaches. I've been to Spain and Poland. It was also foggy there. Remote de-icing, engines running. It's been a good refresher, which was really useful actually. Last stream we did just before Christmas in the iFly 737 MAX to do de-icing with engines running. I did it actually yesterday, and that stream was very useful for me to refresh procedures. So we won't be needing any of that today in South Africa. It's something like 25 degrees here, so no issues at all. Who we got here in chat? We've got Edo. Hope you're doing well. Good afternoon. Itch it and scratch it. Merry Christmas and New Year. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping in. Gregory5TV. Hope you're doing well. Welcome on board. Kadget Badger. This will be the deciding factor if I split my time 50-50 between Microsoft Flight Sim and buying X-Plane 12. Go get X-Plane 12. It's a great simulator. There's some really great aircraft here. This isn't bad at all, but you'll enjoy the textures there. I mean, look at this default airport here. Ortho downloaded, looks really nice indeed. Who else we got here? Ivian Work, hope you're doing well. Raycan 320, Jason Greenoff, afternoon captain, hope your Christmas flights went smoothly. Very well indeed, no delays, thankfully, due to all this foggy weather. I was quite lucky, really. Sim737 pilots here, Andy M71, very good day to you as well. Lust for keyboards in chat too. JYSide91, I hope you enjoy your hoodie when it arrives. Well done winning the impromptu giveaway last stream. Your Oxford Blue, I think it was, in a large is on its way. Well done winning that giveaway. Hope you're doing well. Flying Walnut Sasha, good afternoon, just got from work, chill out time. Excellent. Put your feet up and enjoy. Hi Anthony, hope you're doing well. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're all fine over in the US of A. Jamlin, good day to you. Jamlin, your A380 stream is coming up next. Jamlin, who's a long-term member of the channel, has painted the what's it called? The fly-by-wire A380 in Alpaca Airways cover, which I hope to cover tomorrow evening if all goes well. Anyway, I've got to be asking questions in chat about cars because my fiance wants to get a new car. Her Ford Fiesta comes into finance. We're looking at a Volvo tomorrow, Volvo XC40, so I need some advice about hybrid cars. We'll talk about that in the cruise. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. We have ATC here. Feel free to join on VATSSA as well. Cape Town, usually when their VATSSA events aren't as busy as you get in Europe, but it's nice to visit a different part of the world as usual. But here is the LevelUP 7.3. Essentially, like I said, it is based off the ZIBO mod. The external model is very, very nice, as you'd expect from any aircraft in X-Plane 12. And just in case you're not sure, remember this is a completely free download. It costs absolutely nothing. You just need X-Plane 12. But yeah, the external model is very nice with the reflections. And if I go straight back into the cockpit, you can sort of see there's an improvement in the textures, so they're a little bit blurrier in the mod. So things have been crispened up. But the sounds are really nice. I'm not sure about the sounds of this music, but the sounds on this flight model are very good indeed. Helmax, have you done a test sector? Does it fly exactly like the ZIBO? No, there's some subtle differences. The mod's got a few things going on at the moment, but it's close enough, and I think with the enhancement of text and sounds, maybe an overall better package. Depends how much you want to fly and whatnot. But we'll do some hand flying on departure and on approach, and we'll explain how the differences are. For example, on final, the roll rate and the roll responsiveness is very poor. It's like you're flying something significantly larger, but we'll talk about that on the flight over. Nafi, hello Captain, currently flying Seoul to Hong Kong and VATSSA, and the taxi took an hour. My goodness, yes, Seoul is a huge airport. I can remember streaming on there before, but yeah, I'm planning on taking the 380 tomorrow, probably somewhere in Asia. I've got the Bangkok scenery, and I know the Bangkok airport can take the A380, so maybe somewhere along those lines. It'll be tomorrow evening though, later on, maybe 7, 8, 9 o'clock or so. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. Battery on, GPU's on the bus, electric hydraulic pumps we can pop on, landing gear lever is down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green lights, and then we check all the aircraft documentation. You can sort of see the textures with the sunset in the sim. It does look a little better than default. Obviously, you're never going to get the same quality as you would in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it still looks very good. Let's do the fault in-op test. So fault APU detector in-op. We've got the master caution overheat detector. Let's do the fire test. Fire warning bell, lights, overheat wheel well, and the lights as well. You can again see the texture quality nice as the aircraft powers up. Emergency exit lights we can arm. Lovely weather forecast en route, departure and arrival aerodrome. If we have a look on the flight plan though, just in case it gets busy, I've chucked on an extra 15 minutes of fuel. There we are, ATC 640 kilos, 15 minutes in the block flight plan fuel. So we'll take 8943. This is just like with the ZIBO mod, so you can download from SimBrief the format file or whatever it's called. You go to ground services, no you don't, you go to fuel weight and balance, airside services, over here, load OFP, there we are, 8943, 8943, 160 passengers we're taking, press activate, that starts the boarding process, the refueling, etc, etc. I'm not a fan of these reflective screens. What on earth is that? I think, or I hope there is a way of turning that off in the settings. I think there might be. Oh my days, it's the loudest airbridge bell I've ever heard. So yeah, we'll have to have a look at that. Oh, is the stream mute? And Andy just saying nice ear, bro. Can everyone hear me okay? Interesting background choice on the EFB. Yes, I think I need to change the settings. Oh, you guys can hear me. I think someone just said something else. Yeah, it's reflections of what's behind you. Yeah, so I can see, but I don't like it. And I think I thought excuse me. I thought I had turned it off. I think this is all settings. I know there's a way. If anyone can find out how to turn it off, let me know, because I did see it. I thought I'd saved it, but it's not been turned off. We'll have a look later, but yeah, I'm not a fan of reflections. Good, so we've got the fuel coming on, and they're cleaning the cabin at the moment. It's a bit quieter than in the ZIBO mod, so we won't turn the seatbelt sign on just yet. Test the attend button. Flaps are up, which match the indicated, there's the flaps up, match the indicated position. Cargo fire test will now perform. Forward aft discharge. They should be red, not amber. Look at the fire warning bell, master caution doors. We'll get the clearance shortly. 2000 standby. Gear extension doors closed. Circuit breakers are all in. Up here, we'll turn on the voice recorder. Yeah, stall warning test, we need to wait a little bit longer because we've only just turned on AC power. Back airspeed warning test. IRS to nav. Circuit breakers are all in. Check the tech log. Aircraft's fully serviceable. Safety equipment. And then we can get started. Did they use floor wax on the displays? Brilliant. Morpheus, is this the 800NG? Yes, that is. SB 2008, check visual effects. Let's have a look here then, buddy. So, main menu. Settings, visual effects. Aha! Cockpit glass. Windshield and gauges on. Oh no, now we got it on the glass. That's even worse. I hate that. So, right, that's definitely off. But I don't... Windshield and gauge reflection. It's this one, isn't it? Windshield and gauge reflection. Cockpit blast off. How do I turn this one off? Do I not have the option? Oh no. We'll have to just deal with it. Never mind. Right. Where did I get to? That's all done. Checked all the safety equipment. Yeah, escape rope, etc. Great. Let's get the clearance. We do have ATC here. 836127.0. My radio tuning panel is nowhere near me because I was doing all the paperwork before I went to work yesterday. So I usually stow all my flight sim stuff away. There we are. Let's tune up the ATIS and grab the weather here in Durban. Oh, I can hear it, but it's very quiet. Let me just turn up X-Pilot.
Expect ILSY approach.
You got the traffic going past.
Runway 24. Notices to airmen. Expect us to 04 approach SIDS and stars in use.
What?
Transition level 70. Surface winds 160 at 11. Wind variable between 110 and 180. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Few clouds at 1,100. Ceiling 3,500 broken. Temperature at 5.
I beg your pardon.
2.21.
I think it said 2.5.
QNH1012 hectopole.
Hector what?
Trend. No significant changes.
Good.
Report aircraft registration and bay number on initial contact.
Aircraft registration? I'll
Advise
go
on
call
initial
sign.
contact you have King Shaka International Airport Information Hotel.
I can't remember what this airport's called. We'll go with Durban.
King Shaka International
Thanks, Sim, I'll
Airport
look at the
ATIP
seconds.
Information Hotel at time 1500 Zulu. Expect us to 04 Yankee approach zone
Islands for
DMC.
Yankee.
Expect ILSY approach. Arriving and departing runway 24. Notices to airmen. Expect us to 04 approach SIDS and stars in use.
I don't know what it said there. We'll just have to guess. So we got the gist of it. QNH is 1012. We shall set now. We'll set MFRA to 1300 feet. I did see here in the gen section of the charts it is an ATP 1 here for noise. So guys were saying the setting below turn off glass reflections. Hardware throttle. Ah, hold on. Is there like a click spot there? No, I can't see it there. Fun fact, you can double click the 8060 VPilot and you get it in text. I know to SB 2008, I always do that whilst I'm reading it. I think you'll find the description was over 2 lines and the on-off was to the right of the second line. No, that's for the hardware throttle on ICAS, because it doesn't seem to be changing the reflection. So hardware throttle on the ICAS, you can see your little position here. So if I turn that on, look. Oh, no you can't. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with it. Right, we'll have to just deal with the reflections, guys. The sun will set and it will look absolutely fine. It's King Shaka. Thanks, Alex Patterson. Jamden, thanks, 57 months. Have you seen the Windwing MCDU and FMS coming soon? Think I'll be picking up one of each. I haven't. However, they did follow me on X, so maybe I can drop them a nice message and ask for a review, a copy for a review. We'll see what they can say. But I don't know much about the hardware. It's, like you said, just an FMC and an MCD. That's pretty cool, and everything's been Airbus so far. It'd be nice to see a Boeing one, but there we are. Puppy, you got it turned off, but there are still some. Okay, we'll have to make do as we are. Perfect. Looks like the fueling is ongoing. Boarding should be starting soon. We've got the QNH, got the baro minimums. Let's now load the FMC. We'll just turn up the panel lighting here. Remember to do the oxygen test and my cold coffee on the left hand side. Light test as well, because the interactive checklist is fully compatible with the LevelUP, which is great. Same aircraft essentially, it's the mod, isn't it? Check the lights, they're all good. These are a lot brighter in real life with the brightest setting, but unfortunately I think that's as bright as you can get in the X-Plane 12 at the moment. Let's now load the FMC. So we're in Durban. The code is Foxtrot Alpha Lima Echo. Put the GPS coordinates in the Southern Hemisphere. We don't often find ourselves here. We'll load in the flight plan, which is on the FMS output file. Sim 737 pilot, do the displays ever reflect in the real aircraft like what we're seeing? No, they're sort of like a matte finish on the displays. You never get any reflection on the displays on the NG or the Max. Let's load that flight plan in. Course on Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, but unfortunately no Alpaca livery is compatible yet. We'll activate execute. Departures 24. It will be a tub in 1 Bravo or tube in 1 Bravo. Vectors for the arrival. Onto the ILS. No discontinuities. Beautiful. Let's now do the performance. So we're still loading passengers. It's a bit of a slow old affair in the in the LevelUP. So 0 fuel weight 57.2, which is what it will be when loading has finished. So I'll put that in here. Our alternate is I think it's a FAG, Foxtrot Alpha Golf Golf, which is called George in South Africa. That's our alternate, just on the coast east of Cape Town. 2.8 tons needed. So we'll punch that in. Cost index 30, cruising at 38,000 feet. That's executed. We'll put in our top of climb wind, which is very close to the average. Bit of a headwind on this sector, 274 and 47. Just put the average in. We usually just put top of climb. Top of climb ISA is 6 degrees. We'll execute, then we'll do our take-up performance next. Dave Hewitt, thank you very much for joining as a member. I hope you're doing well. Glad you enjoyed the content. You get invited to our members-only Discord. I hope you enjoy using the custom emojis in chat. Thank you very much. Margaret to Canard. Is it good to see descent textures quality with a ZIBO mod? Not sure what you're referring to there, Margaret. Morpheus, I'm assuming the ZIBO mod only works on the 800 NG variant and not the others. I guess so, because the mod is only based off the 800. Jamlin, I believe the Alpaca Airways livery is compatible, except the windows need making transparent. I've not tried it yet, Jamlin. I have downloaded it and put it in the community folder. I'll update the A380 tonight and see how it's all working. Perfect. Let's now do the performance. So, here we are in the world, if you're wondering. South Africa, beautiful part of the world. Love to visit here one day. Departing off runway 24 here. Lovely long runway, 3,700 metres. It's also 60 metres wide, so it's much wider than the conventional 45, and we'll use full length via mic for takeoff there. So takeoff run of 3,700 metres. Let me grab the takeoff performance calculator. There we are. So it's all in, runway 24. The actual weight is this with the extra fuel. Bleeds auto, anti-ice will be off. Winds are in, temperature dry. Improved climb off. We'll take an assumed temperature, press calculate. There we are. So this is flap 5. TO full, so 26k with an assumed temperature of 52, and that's going to give us an M1 of 94.0 minus the bleed, so about 93.2 for departure, or should I say 93.4. Takeoff flat 5, CG is in, 22.8, V speeds and the performance we've got 141, 141, 148, so 141, and these almost match 141. We just need to increase V2 to 148, so almost identical. We've got sufficient margin if we need to stop, and we'll set V2 here 148 knots. Lovely. Let's do our overhead panel scan. Yaw dampers on, nav transfer display switch is normal auto, fuel 4 pumps on, check the crossfeed, bright, dim, bright, and off. AC/DC metering panels all set, and fueling is now done, so we'll put the seatbelt sign on. Imagine the cabin is secure. We'll crank up the APU. Let's start that now. Perfect. Window heat on, anti-ice off. Air conditioning and pressurization is now configured for start. Cruising at 38,000 feet, elevation set. Flight directors are on. We'll get the clearance shortly. Expecting flight level 70, the heading and courses are set, order brake to RTO, reset fuel flow, bring up GEMS FMC, airport will have, Jim you can have terrain and airport your side, and the radio tuning panel's all set for departure. Beautiful. How's the boarding going on? Is that my APU? Yeah, it's my APU starting. I think here we can get an idea. Oh, I guess boarding's complete because the air bridge is now detaching. Well, that was quick. Excellent. SB2008 says real world, brilliant. Sim737 pilot is in a YouTube. Oh, I think there's a conversation going on. I'm missing out. Margaret says sorry if I wasn't clear. The texture quality of the ZIBO is pretty low, even in 4K. So I was really looking forward to getting an upgrade. This level up mod would be the solution. Yes, yes, it looks a lot better for textures in here. Again, not the quality you'll see in aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator. But it's much better over the ZIBO mod. You can see it's a lot crisper, but it does handle a little bit differently. I do love the default livery they've gone for as well, with these purple effects and visual impressions. Very nice indeed. Right, yep, very good. Centre tank fuel, just testing you. Well spotted, Ayub. We do have 1,200 kilos in the centre. We'll anticipate those coming off during the climb, and the radio tuning panel is all set. Let me grab my clearance, and then we'll do some briefings, and then get on out of here. We've got ground active. Perfect. There we go. And I want to call it by the correct name. So ground here, it is King Shaka International Ground. Perfect. King Shaka Ground. Very good day. It's Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Stand Alpha 12. Copy information. Hotel QNH of 1012. Departure clearance to Cape Town, please.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Hello, welcome to King Shaka. You are clear to Cape Town as FALE, flight level 380 on request. After takeoff, runway 24, comply with the Durban 1 Bravo departure. Climb initial flight level 7000, squawk 7346, departure frequency 128.325.
Cleared to Cape Town, expect flight level 380 on request. It'll be runway 24 for departure, 2 bin 1 Bravo, climbing to flight level 70, squawk 7346, airborne frequency 128.325, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, repack is correct, you can come in next for push and start.
Welcome, thank you, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Yeah, I think that was a little error Josiah played. He made it is a flight level on the SID, which we'll cover here in a second. So flight level 70, 7346. You can already see like the texture quality of this is a lot nicer in comparison to the mod. 7346, perfect. Got this turned down a bit just because it's very loud in flight otherwise. Cool, so a little bit of a briefing for you guys. The routing's all in, we'll cover that shortly. On the route, most likely to push back facing northeast, but we have the option of southwest, Alpha Echo or Foxtrot onto the main parallel taxiway Alpha, then all the way down for runway 24. The SID is this one, the 2 bin 1 Alpha, which is in the FMC. Sorry, 2 bin 1 Bravo for runway 24, which is in the FMC. Transition altitude is 5,500 feet, which is up here. That also checks in the FMC. So our routing is to climb straight ahead to Lima Echo 2 Delta 2, which is there, coded, max 220 knots. And then we're going to make a little right turn to Lima Echo 2 Charlie Foxtrot, which checks, then to Tubin, then as per flight plan. So there we are, it's all in. And it is flight level 70, and we can expect an automatic changeover frequency as well. We were advised to expect after departure 128.325. Now, as a reminder, we can put that frequency in here, 128.325. Perfect, we've covered everything. Let's now do the safety inspection and before start checklist.
Safety inspection checklist. Surfaces and chocks.
Checked.
Maintenance status.
Checked.
Battery.
That was weird.
On.
Electric hydraulic
Looks
pump.
good.
On.
Landing gear lever.
Down.
Ship's library.
Checked.
Safety inspection checklist complete.
Need the afterburners for flight level 7000. You would do. Before start checks for line,
Before
please,
start
Jim.
checklist to the line.
Or Andy, I should say.
IRS mode selectors.
Nav.
Gear pins.
Removed.
Light test.
Checked.
Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Perfect.
Yaw damper.
On.
Nav transfer and display switches.
Normal and auto.
Fuel.
So, flight plan says we need a minimum of 8943. Guess what we've got on board? Exactly 8943, which is fine.
Checked.
Fuel pump.
6 on.
6 pumps on.
Cabin util IFE galley power.
On.
Emergency exit lights.
Armed.
Fasten belts.
On.
Window heat.
On.
Air conditioning.
PEX auto. Bleeds on.
Pressurization.
So, we've got 380, Pax order bleeds on, and expecting 150.
Set.
Pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Instruments.
Cross-checked.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Hydraulics.
Normal.
Speed brake.
Down P10.
Just about
Parking
normal.
brake.
Need over 2,800.
Stab trim cutout switches.
Normal.
Wheel well fire warning.
Checked.
Great news,
Radios,
Captain. Your
radar,
toe's
and
coming.
transponder.
Perfect.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, I am logging off for the event in Cape Town now, so you can monitor 125.750 for your push and start.
125750, we'll speak to you later, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Bye.
Bye-bye, see you soon.
Awesome. Great. I love the South African accent, so cool. Radio radar transponder set and standby.
Rudder and aileron trim.
3 and 0.
Takeoff briefing.
That is...
Discussed.
PA.
Oh, it's been a while, hasn't it? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard this Alpaca Airways flight. Alpaca 01, Durban to Cape Town. Joining me in the flight deck. Senior First Officer Jim in the cabin today. Team's led by
Alright, looks like
Jack,
the doors and
Jill,
hatches are closed and we're
Ben
ready to
and
connect.
Bill. Paperwork's complete. Pushing back in the next couple of minutes. Taxi out runway 24. Beautiful flight towards Cape Town this evening. Around 2 hours and 38,000 feet. Just got the latest weather conditions. Very similar to Durban. It's currently clear skies. Winds from the south. Temperature 25 degrees. Camera crew will show you a safety demonstration. Your safety, please give it your full attention. Welcome on board.
Complete.
There you go.
FMC CDU.
Set.
N1
Cheers, Slush.
and IAS bug. Welcome.
N1 and IIS auto. V-speed set.
Stab trim.
Set.
Performance, weight and balance.
Checked.
That's done.
EFB.
Airplane mode and stowed.
Phones.
Off.
Flight deck windows and cockpit door.
Closed.
I have to come
Doors.
and grand deck.
Closed.
Passengers.
Seated.
Before start checklist completed to the line.
Perfect, Slush Puppies. Thank you. 6 months of member. Afternoon, Captain. Hope you had a great Christmas. Great Christmas, Slush Puppies. Thank you very much. Off Christmas Day. Been working the last couple of days in LVPs and all the fun and jazz. But 4 days off now, which I'm looking forward to. Hope you had a great Christmas too as well. So thank you very much. Sam, do you sound that stressed really to the real bit? Did I sound stressed? I was trying to remember all my crew names. No, I sound just you know, the epitome of calm. Excellent. Josh is on the camera crew have names that rhyme. Yes. If is it usually this soggy in London right now? First year here? No, it's just high pressure. You know, it's just blocking all the frontal weather and low pressure systems in the Atlantic, and this time of year. You know, the weather just gets trapped, the humidity increases, and it just gets stuck. It's been literally, I don't think many airports south of sort of Scotland have had any visibility in excess of 1,000 metres for almost 4 days now. So, you know, LVPs for a really long time. Excellent. There we are. Oh, yes. Did you catch the new Wallace and Gromit? I did in Film We Walk. A work of art. So good. We watched it on, was it Christmas Day or the day after? I can't remember. With the evil gnomes that turned evil with the penguin on. Very, very good. Sim737 Pilot, thank you very much. 5 gifted members coming in. We've got Mitch, Mike Delta, Gockip, Joe SDC, Dave Cap 1458, all gifted 1 month's membership from Sim737 Pilot, who's been a member of this channel for a considerable period of time. So thank you very much for your support. Merry Christmas to all of you, and welcome on board, guys. Slush Puppies, yes, plenty of cat threes. Plenty. All week I've been doing them. Right, he said contact 125. Oh, we have tower online though. So 125750, but I can see tower online. 118450. I think we'll go with that for because I don't know if that one's just come online. Let's give it a whirl. Tower frequency. Okay. King Shaka Tower. Hello, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa Stand Alpha 1-2. Request push and start.
Alright, limit Papa Devon Tower. Good evening. Stand Alpha 1-2. Push and start. Approved. Space mode.
Push start approved to face northeast. Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Thank you. Perfect. Better push back.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
We'll make it a slightly longer push so we've got this exit available. Oh no, that's a stand. We'll just do that.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Perfect. 2 seconds. We'll just do the checklist.
Before start checklist below the line. Air conditioning packs.
Off.
Anti-collision light.
Feathers is the best fin of all time.
Parking
It's
brake.
Feathers, yeah. I will never remember the
Transponder.
name of the
Out
characters.
of.
Before start checklist complete.
Perfect. So we can release the parking brake. Oh, 2 minutes late. Not bad. New Sky.
Starting pushback.
Not yet
and you may start
compatible
engines.
with the aircraft, so we're not running anything for Alpaca A's today. There we are. Off we go. The sounds of the cabin are excellent. We've got Alpaca Canada. He's a long way from home. And the sun is just about to set here in South Africa. 25 degrees. Beautiful day. Colin M, the audio checklist part of the Level Up. Nope, you can download that for free of charge. Exclamation mark checklist with a link, and that's compatible with the ZIBO mod. Right, starting engine number 2. Have a listen. It's very good. Brilliant sounds. Better check inside. Oh, that's quite quick actually. N2, oil pressure, M1, max motoring, fuel in. There you go, very nice. Steady on, Tug. Excuse me, sniffle. Sounds like stabilised. Started cut down, bunch in 2, 2, 4, 6, 3, 2 stable. Starting 1. I'll monitor the engine starting signs.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
See how long this takes.
Disconnecting
And
tow.
2.
Stand by.
Oil pressure N1. Fuel on. It's looking very good. EGT spool up, looks great. Should stabilise around 45 seconds. I was a bit late with the timer. Hey Lee Russell, welcome aboard, buddy. These are all default sounds as well, included with the aircraft. They're very nice. Prefer it over the mod. Engine startup perfect. Absolutely perfect on the M1, N2 EGT timings. Exactly the same as the real aircraft. Starter cut out.
Tow is
4, 6,
disconnected
3,
and
1 and
bypass
2
pin has been
stable.
removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Ciao. Flaps to 5. Flight controls. I've got stripey today, guys. Full forward, full back, left and right. Neutral. Let's try the rudders. Right and left. Neutral. Recall. Blank the lower DU, and then we'll do the before taxi checklist.
Before taxi
Just
checklist.
realised my yoke comes off, isn't it?
On,
APU.
off,
Something like
Start
that.
switches.
Perfect.
continuous,
Pro-heat.
on,
Anti-ice.
off,
Air conditioning.
PX auto, bleeds on,
Isolation valve.
auto,
Flaps.
flips 5 required and selected, green light,
Checked.
Stab trim.
set,
Start
Did
lever.
set it yesterday on
Idle
5.25.
Flight controls.
checked,
Recall.
checked,
Before taxi checklist complete.
Perfect. We'll request taxi. Not a fan of this mustard yellow sunsets in X-Plane 12. I just wish they fixed that lighting. But it is very nice after dark. Alpaca 8 Lima, Papa request taxi.
Alpaca 8 Lima, Papa, thanks. Taxi on point Mike, short runway 24 via Fox and Alpha, QNH 1012.
Taxi, on point Mike, runway 24 via Foxtrot Alpha, QNH 1012, Alpaca 8 Lima, Papa. Perfect, so first right Foxtrot, second left Alpha to hold point Mike, runway 24, QNH 1012 is set. So, parking and release, let's just do a config check, and I just want to monitor the spool up time. Excellent, nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow, then would speed up very quickly. Very good. And remember, guys, this is essentially the ZIBO mod, so it should be doing all the things the ZIBO mod's doing, but the spool up time, that's what it's like on the real aircraft. So we should have a bit more volume outside. Quite light today. That's good. Very nice. Yeah, they're pretty spot on, aren't they? Warfare for the sector 12, looking very nice. A bit of brakes, clear left, clear right. Ugh, look at the yellow, look at the sun reflection, go away. Perfect, straight down, second left Alpha. Yeah, the engine spool up is really nice. And also the spool down, a bit better than the mod in fact. It's a bit too quick spooling down, but I think the mod at the moment is a bit broken regards to closing the thrust levers and the speed at which the engine spools down. Clear right, clear left. Remember 10 knots for the 90-degree turns. Beautiful. Parallel taxiway. Up to 30 knots in a straight line, maximum. Taxis very nicely. Beautiful. Right.
You're about to runway to check for the safeguard 281.
Oh my days.
The station calling readability 5 seconds, call for them.
Good, let's do the before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist
Ready
to
to
the
check for the
line.
safeguard
Config.
281.
Check.
Flaps.
Flips 5 set. Green light.
Stab trim.
Set.
It's
Takeoff briefing.
5.25 units. So,
Perfect, so safeguard 281, we are at gate Alpha 1.
packs on the bleeds on, V-speed set for departure, 41, 41, 48. Try to stay on the taxiway, is set on the MCP, make sure I'm doing no more than 30 knots. And the departure is the Turbine 1 Alpha, it's climbing straight ahead, slight right turn, climbing flight level 70. NADP 1, so we'll bug up at 3,300 feet. Engine outside will climb straight ahead, but then make a left turn around 1,000 feet to head over the. Well, I guess it's the Atlantic here. That is reviewed.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Perfect. Cabin secured, checks complete. So, crosswind. On the last takeoff did on the test sector, it was only a 10 knot crosswind, but I was having to make a significant aileron input to keep the wings level. So we'll see how things are. Surface wind here in Durban, runway 24 right now. It is. Let's get an update on the weather. It's 1707, so it's basically a less than 5 knot crosswind, so we'll just have to see how it behaves today. Cam V2 plus 20? Yeah, so the flight director will command that cam, but we set V2 on the MCP. Great inertia. See how the thrust is at idle 20% and it just rolls? This is bang on the real aircraft, it's pretty flat here. Speed will slowly drop or increase depending on the slope, but this is really nice. Oops, got very dark in the sim. Excellent sounds. Beautiful. This sounds like you're in the cabin. Beautiful. Smidge more thrust, it's a little bit upslope here. Taxiing in this sim is really nice, very natural.
Boeing 738 request clearance to Cape Town with information alpha, please.
The controller's very quiet, so we're going to have to turn up the... Runway 24 cleared takeoff, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, bye. Perfect, so we've got the airborne frequency on standby. 125750, we're cleared takeoff. Beautiful. A little bit of brakes here, 10 knots for this turn. So, MCP, cleared takeoff. Perfect. Weather radar's on. Before takeoff checks below the line, please. Oh yeah, this is reviewed, I forgot to finish the checklist.
Review.
Cabin.
A bit quick on this
Before
turn.
takeoff checklist completed to the line.
Perfect. Below the line.
Before takeoff checklist below the line. MCP.
Set.
Transponder.
TARA.
Strobe lights.
On.
Landing lights.
On.
Before
Perfect.
takeoff checklist complete.
Excellent. So I've got the sounds turned up as much as possible. Enjoy the takeoff. We'll talk about the takeoff behaviour as well. We'll hand fly, and I'll show you some of the inputs I'll make a little excessive, but just talk about the aircraft responsiveness, because it's not bad, but there's some subtle differences. Timing. We'll do a rolling start. So timing the spool up is key. Oop, a little bit late now. So I was a bit late spooling them up. You want to be perfectly on 40 when you complete the turn. Toga's in chat. Let's go to Cape Town. Stabilised. Set takeoff thrust. Yeah, I like the sounds. 93.0. Takeoff thrust set indications normal. So I'm going to put a lot of right rudder in here. More than I'd expect for a 5 knot tailwind. 80 knots. Checked. Release forward pressure. Got a lot of right rudder here. It's a 10 knot crosswind in the sim, but you can look at the aircraft rolling already. You wouldn't expect that with 10 knot crosswind. Like maybe a 30. Rotate. Okay. There's a... and then a little bit later on to keep the wings level. Positive rate. Just lost a bit of thrust there on the rotation. Gear up. Gear up. There's like a notable deadband like immediately when you start rotating, but not in trim at all. 100. Whoa! I think the wind just changed in the sim. So it's commanding around V2 plus 20. Let's follow the flight directors. Now it's very sensitive in pitch. Very sensitive. It's not quite as sensitive as that. Ooh, what's going on with the thrust? 1,000. So 1,000 feet would usually engage the autopilot. But it's nicely in trim now for around V2 plus 20. We're in arm. Got a ding dong. Yes, I will contact you. Give me a chance, sir. So let's follow the flight director. Trim. Okay. Departures hello, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, 2-1 Bravo, passing 2,700 for flight level 70.
Report altitude passing.
Hello, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, 2-1 Bravo, passing 3,300 for flight level 70.
Thank you, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. You're now identified under radar control. Climb flight level 150.
Flight level 150, thank you, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. I thought I didn't say by passing. Right. Set 150, bug up. So the flight director commands are good. So let's just see where the flight director bar goes to command the acceleration. Nice. That's better than the mod actually. So it's pitching for around 8 degrees, which I'd expect, with a V2 plus 20, select flaps 1. Trim.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, route direct position Ibuba, Echo Victor.
Directed Bupa, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Radio's a bit broken there. Flaps up. Flashed in trim there. I'm going to confirm that point. Nice, okay. So we're going to get the autopilot in here. Let me just get this shortcut and then we're going to have a play around with some of the handling elements. Just delete this. Alpaca Lima Papa, could you spell that point, please?
Certainly position Ibuba. It's spelled Echo Victor Uniform Victor Alpha.
Directive Vuva, thank you, Alpaca Lima Papa. Perfect. Execute, LNAV available, LNAV. Flaps up, no lights, VNAV, standard. Passing, already pressed standard. Standard, passing 72, flight level 150. Let's just do the after takeoff checklist. Air conditioning and pressurization, it's 2.8, climbing, set. Release the crew. Standard set, passing 7 flight level 150. After takeoff checklist complete. There we go. 10 out of 10 flyby sounds though. That's excellent. Awesome. Right. A little play. So, disconnect the autopilot. It's all trimmed here for 250 knots. And you can see the auto throttle just left in just to maintain M1. So let's have a look at trim responsiveness. So I'm just trimming. It's pretty good. So the aircraft's, I think the trim rate's pretty nice. See how the rate of climb's adjusting with the trim. Again, this is, remember, based loosely off the ZIBO mod. Just maintain an attitude around 5-6 degrees to maintain 250 knots. But the pitch, look, very sensitive. So look at that. That's a lot more sensitive. Again, I probably have to fiddle with my curves, but just a tiny input.
Papa, thank you so much. Contact South Africa 128.325. Pleasant day.
128325, and thank you very much, ATC Alpaca Lima Papa. Cheerio. Right, I'm having to multitask here. We'll just leave the just to show you how an aircraft, when it's in trim, very little inputs required. Just tuning the frequency. You can enjoy my straight stripy shirt. I know the autopilot's off, but you can see when the aircraft's in trim, there's only subtle changes in the aircraft's pitch. South Africa, very good evening, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Climb flight level 150 inbound to Ivuva.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, South Africa, good evening. Climb flight level 380.
Climb flight level 380, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. 380 checked, perfectly in trim still. Speed's dropping off, but there's natural pitch stability, so it should start pitching down to get back to its target speed. Let's do the post 3 cruise checks. Fuel 4, 6 pumps on, lights, logo, APU, 4.2 climbing set, belts will leave, auto, checks complete. There you go. So now, the aircraft's got natural pitch stability, so as the speed drops off, look, you'll see the rate of descent, rate of climb will decrease and go back to 250. But pitch, very sensitive in that small movement. But if I make large movements, like now, that's probably how it should react, so that's pretty good. But it's moving a lot with small movements, so that needs to change. The roll rate, though, is very poor, so these sort of speeds, okay, you know what, that's actually alright, so this is full left, full right, but on final approach with landing flap, that roll rate is massively reduced. It really rolls slowly, but generally speaking, within the confines of a desktop simulator, it roughly handles like a 737. Last test, my favourite is a jam full boot of rudder and checking the secondary effect of flight control. So let's give it a full boot of right rudder. Roll, beautiful, very nice. Again, that's the ZIBO mod anyway. So this is one of the biggest gripes I have with Microsoft Flight Sim is the effects of secondary controls. So again, just watch my foot. I'm going to give it a boot full of left rudder, aeroplane rolls. That's exactly what the Level D simulator does. Exactly what the Level D simulator does. Okay, I've never done it on the real aircraft, obviously. So the secondary effects of flight controls are very, very realistic. But generally, it flies within the confines of desktop simulator 8 out of 10 like a real 7.3. It's just the sensitivity of flight controls. Good. Pitch and power is everything, guys. Know what target attitude to set, so if you want to accelerate in climb with a fixed M1, you just lower and raise the nose as required to maintain the target speed. And trim. There we are. So whenever you've been hand flying like this, most likely in this situation in real life after a TCAS RA or some other reason, the autopilot re-engagement sequence is always the same. It's flight directors on, roll mode, pitch mode, so we'll go LNAV, VNAV, autopilot, then auto throttle last, and that's the re-engagement sequence. There we are, on our way. Do one more flyby, because those sounds, superb. That is the best flyby sounds I've ever heard. Are we descending? No, we're accelerating. Fantastic. Now, why can't all aircraft sound like that? Beautiful. Yep, looks good. Bit loud here, sorry guys. Mustard yellow. All that ortho I downloaded yesterday. Can't see. Yeah, it's this sort of sunset period where the lighting and the sim's a bit broken. Catch up with chat here. Johan, not a fan of the yellow tint during sunsets. Nope, me neither. Swimming Climb, do you follow Skymatics? He's a member of the channel. And I think is involved with the development of the aircraft, so I think he's got some experience flying the aircraft too, which is quite cool. Grant, something I've never understood, what is the purpose of the forward pressure before hitting 80 knots on the takeoff roll? Great question. Is to increase nose steering effectiveness at lower speeds, because there's the rudder's not effective enough. It's the nose wheel that actually produces most of the steering at low speed. The rudder has a limited amount of input on the nose wheel as well, so we just increase nose wheel effectiveness with light forward pressure. Yeah, Sim 737 pilot, it's annoying that brightness thing. So when you look down, it obviously gets darker, but I want it to be like this permanently. If they could get rid of this, I've said this before in the past, just check the fuel in a second. I've said this in the past, if they could disable this eye effect of... someone will put this in better words. They're trying to simulate how your eye adjusts to different levels of brightness, but when you look like this, this should be the same. If they could keep this colour just like this, this is exactly how it looks at sunset right now, with no lighting or limited lighting. Why does it darken when I'm looking out? I don't want that effect at all. I just don't find it realistic within the confines of looking at a flat monitor on the PC. So I wish I had the option to disable that, because this permanent is great. It just, that isn't how it darkens. Master caution fuel. Center pumps. Using reserve fuel. So reserves were... Is that a bug? I think that was a little bug. Look, reserves are 2.8, 3.8, so we've got an extra ton. That shouldn't have appeared, that message. Papa Charlie, are you on the latest Explain 12 beta or stable version? Oh, having store, yes, I think you might be right. Yeah, V-Sky check maybe, not the other guy. He's not a member, you're right. Snaze, that's correct, eye adaptation. Not a fan of that in Explain. In fact, I really wish I had the option to disable it. That is great. If the lighting was like that permanently, no, it's not though. Dave, great question. Do you use tiller during initial takeoff roll? Absolutely not. You don't want to be touching the tiller, because if you accidentally make a large input whilst taking off, the nose will skid and you can easily lose control. So only rudder. And Josepella, what's the difference between PMDG ZIBO and this one? Well, it's I mean, well, stating the obvious, it is the simulator. They are both excellent aircraft in their own right. The LevelUP is the ZIBO mod with improved sounds and textures, essentially, but they've tweaked the flight model in ways which are okay. On final, again, I'll be talking to you about things that are different to the real aircraft, but overall, it's pretty good. Papa Charlie, the problem is my eyes work different than a camera lens or a monitor, so it looks horrible on a screen as my human eyes adapt way fast and have a much higher dynamic range. Nail in the coffin, Papa Charlie, of the lighting issue in the Explain. That's what I don't think they get, because obviously I'm looking out here and you're looking straight down instantaneously, and we're seeing that change. That change is instant for us as humans with your eyeball. So if it stayed like this brightness permanently, they would fix the issue. But I've been told that the fix is complex, but it's been an issue for ages. Papa Mike Lambda called it the iris effect. I'm not a fan. No, I hate it. -7, bit of cloud. Engine anti-ice coming on as we enter icing conditions. Very nice. I love this, the flyby sounds of that. It's superb. Nothing on the radar, looking good. It can't be disabled, unfortunately, Razordan. Dakar, do you prefer the flight model of the ZIBO or the LevelUP? The ZIBO. There's been a few tweaks here which I can't take off. We had a very small or light crosswind there. Was it 5-6 knots? But it felt like a 20 knot crosswind with the rudder inputs I was having to make. The champion are trying to simulate the Mach 1 eyeball and failing at it, yes. That's great to hear, Colin, that they're fixing the brightness issue. I can't wait to try that, because it's been an issue since launch with Explain 12. Gentlemen, surprised someone hasn't been able to mod it. There was a mod which I tried a year or two ago with a plugin, and I had mixed results with it. Generally, it made it worse, so I got rid of it. Morpheus, I don't know exactly. They use the ZIBO mod, but it does say on their website that the flight model has been tweaked, and it does feel a little different in ways. Bank angle 10. Yeah, RX. That's correct. RXB enhancer. That's it. I've tried it. It just. I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Oh, there's some of that beautiful ortho I downloaded. Below the mustard yellow clouds. Coleman clouds. Other brands of mustard available. ETA is 18:25. Just a little over an hour and a half. I'll have a look at the traffic inbound to Cape Town shortly. It has a map on it, doesn't it? Yeah, I forgot. See some other traffic on VATSSA. Beautiful, there we are in the world. Africa is such a huge continent. It's crazy. I mean, just flying from here to here, an hour and a half. Can you imagine if you're crossing from sort of Senegal to Egypt? It's going to be, what, 7-8 hours? Shavrik, what imagery source and zoom level did you use out here? This is zoom level 16 I use en route, sometimes 15. Again, can't really see it. At least we got rid of that pixelated reflection, yes. And we've got the old FMC here, but I think in the options you can switch it to the new FMC with the VNAV button. Sim 737, no issues using download to Ortho, just like an X-Plane 11 to it. The exact same thing, works perfectly. Never had any issues.
152, departing Southend 737, runway 11, line up and behind. Line up and way behind, Saturday 737,
Infinite, you mentioned A380 flight from Bangkok tomorrow. Do you know where? I don't know yet. Yeah, the 380 from Bangkok, because I've got the scenery for it. Maybe Singapore, Kuala Lumpur. They're all sort of within a couple of hours, aren't they? I don't want to do a huge, long sector. Ah, Papa Mike, I think the flight model is different. The flight systems are all ZIBO, though. Interesting. I slightly prefer the ZIBO mod flight model. Oh, also XP 1.4 came out. Sorry, good space for X-Plane 12. Oh, really? I'm still 1.3. Still works fine.
Contact Travel, Gradle 124.5 on it. Cheers. That's 21 Tango, turn right, clear direct airport.
Good. Almost 100 miles away from King Shaka. If you work, Singapore will be great as in real life test route Thai Airways used when they bought 380. Okay, cool. So I think then maybe Bangkok, Singapore. What's the flight time? Matty, do pilots ever fly at a higher max speed to make up a delay? My operator only when approved. And that's usually if there's a curfew or duty issue with crew. Which generally, on a long sector like a Canaries to the UK, turn ATC down. Let's check the outside temperature. Minus 50, so we don't need any engine anti-ice. So yeah, otherwise we wouldn't increase speed. 2-hour flight from Bangkok, Singapore, perfect. That's the perfect length. Well, tomorrow, guys, tomorrow evening. Probably a slightly later stream, we'll take the 380 from our Bangkok, Singapore. In Alpaca Airways colours, maybe on VATSSA. I don't know how many stands are suitable, but I mean Singapore Airlines and both Thai Airways have the 380, don't they? Give it a few more minutes when the sun gets a little low. Oh my gosh. It's the nuclear apocalypse. Look at the... yeah, I'm not a fan of this lighting effect at all. There we are anyway. 380. Do a fuel check at Ivuva, which is in a little over 6 minutes. But here we go. Cool. Well, no, actually, tip pressure's fine. LNAV, VNAV. Oops, someone's got around. Right. Control S for sunglasses effect. Oh, yes. Oh. Working for me. Shift S. Makes it worse. Ah, it's raining at 38,000 feet. Interesting. That you would not see. Too cold. Interesting. Nutty says, solution menu, view show screenshot. Oh yes, I know this one. But the thing is, that's what it's like. But now it's just permanently too bright. Can't you see out the window? Crikey. That's nuclear apocalypse mode. Yeah, it's just... You can't leave it on auto, really. It's like he's flying into the sun. Yes, I'm like that satellite they dipped into the sun's corona and Christmas Eve or whatever it was I was reading about. Cockpit lighting, yeah, it's on full, I think. It's literally on full, but you wouldn't see it at this time of day anyway. Minus 26-degree water. There we are. Oh no, we're back into cloud again. Hopefully it'll clear up soon. There we are anyway. Sounds are superb. Fuel flow here then. About 2.3 tons an hour, that's about right. Very nice. However, we did just try the sunglasses. There you go. You can see the brightness changing slightly, but it doesn't make any difference really. And if flag plane 13 will fix everything. Yeah, Nevada Rocks, I think you're right. Fly Factor have adjusted their cockpit to a sort of accommodate this issue, because you don't have the same issue in their aircraft. Shavrock's, in my opinion, Ortho hand-built looks better at cruise than Microsoft Flight Sim Ortho. I mean, that's, yeah, I agree. Especially in X-Plane, in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. So if we go outside, just turn down the sim a little more, you can see, look, the Ortho down there. That's zoom level 16, very crisp. You can easily see the textures. But obviously lower down, Microsoft Flight Simulator graphics look really nice. This close-up looks obviously photo-realistic, but the cruise up here looks great. Right, stop where we are briefly, but there you go. If I zoom in, you can sort of see the textures. But up here, when you're not zoomed in, it looks very nice. Ah, come back. Actually, see if I can zoom back in towards the airplane. No, it's going too fast. There we are. Deckard knows it's too cold to get precipitation at this altitude, sort of ice crystals. Steve, they said that the Sun spacecraft is going so fast, 400,000 miles an hour, it could go from London to New York in 30 seconds. I did read that. It's fascinating, isn't it? Obviously, it sort of fell into the Sun with its immense gravitational pull, and then sort of, I guess, is flying away in some sort of elliptical orbit. But yeah, really interesting read. Sim 737 pilot, I use just stock X-Plane 12. I know it's good enough for me. Matic dome lighting, yeah, during the day here makes no difference in the sim, which is realistic to be fair. Turn it off, look, doesn't make any difference, but it wouldn't do. But at night, the lighting in the cockpit's very nice. At Nevada Rocks, I prefer the sounds of the LevelUP. I think they're slightly better. Well, I'll need some of you in chat tomorrow then for the A380. I've only flown it once, and that was always that was an adventure. So I'll probably stream that about... Well, what time's sunrise in Singapore, Bangkok? So if I stream 8 o'clock Zulu tomorrow, will the sun have risen? No, it'll probably only be 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, but it's summer there, so I believe it's summer. It'd be nice to have a sunrise lifetime flight. Morning from Winnipeg to Canadian Duck. Good day to you. Doing well. Oh, they're 7 hours ahead. Okay.
Climb light level 34 today.
Steve, 6:40 Sunday 29th. GMT plus 7 hours sunrise in Bangkok. Okay. Oh, so I'd have to be sort of streaming it, yeah, much later. Okay, I don't want to do a night flight. So 6:40, yeah, that's going to be 11:40 UK, 11:40 Zulu then. Yeah, I don't really start. I was starting a stream at 10 o'clock at night tomorrow. Right, there's a Vula. Just do a fuel and time check, see how things are with the level up, with fuel burn. I'll just keep forgetting to use a tab. So then, Evuva, 25 minutes into the flight, we're 26, which makes sense. We delayed the climb speed slightly. 6.8 tons of fuel we should have on board. We've got 6.8, bang on. And 2.2 tons of fuel burnt, engine used. 2.1 fuel burn time is exactly as expected. Yeah, I might do that swimming climb, just tweak the time slightly. Maybe 6 hours ahead of lifetime or something along those lines.
Correction, Charlie Tango Victor to Springbok 13.
Correct. Lawrence, does fuel burn change depending on engine age, or are they maintained so they're all similar? Great question. So no, as an engine gets older, it loses a little bit of efficiency, and that's catered for in the flight plan. So obviously airlines and the performance department, flight planning department will carefully monitor fuel burn of an engine, and over time, as the efficiency of the engine decreases, they can adjust here the fuel bias. And what you'll find on aircraft with older engines, there'll be a higher fuel bias. I've seen it as high as 6% before, where there's an increase of fuel burn of 6% based off an older engine. And a new engine obviously has a fuel bias of 0. So they're often changed and updated as the aircraft's or the engine age progressively increases. Great question. Papa Mike says 777 pilot, yes, but there's a lot that's missing in level up. No passengers yet and no cabin announcements. Yeah, I was having a play around. There's some cabin announcements, but not all of them. And certainly the boarding sounds are sort of missing as well. Ooh, I've got some annual. I'm saying last stream, I've got some annual leave coming up, guys. So I'm looking forward to doing a few more streams at the end of January. But I have a very busy couple of blocks coming up. I'm flying all on my next block. I think I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 sectors, 5 days. Some 4 sector days as well. Flying Water says ice crystals, HAIC's high altitude icy crystals threat. Is it something that the ZIBO PMDG would be likely to have modelled the effects of? No, I don't think so. And it wouldn't be something in the aircraft, it'll be something in the simulator. But yeah, ice crystal icing is something that really impacts your operation. I've never experienced it myself, but essentially it's really difficult to detect, but it's common above large thunderstorms, so generally that's why we want to avoid flying over thunderstorms of amber or red weather radar. You know, you can if you give it a significant margin, sort of over 5,000 feet, but just hitting the tops of them, you expose the aircraft to ice crystal icing as well. If the temperature's around 0 as well, -0, it's more common. The colder it is, the less likely it is, because the ice is or the bush is super cold. But yeah, it's I have to look at the check. There's no memory items, but essentially you just have to escape it as soon as possible, because it can cause engine vibrations. D-Town135, thank you very much for joining as a member. Glad you're enjoying the content. You get invited to our members only Discord. Hope you enjoy using the custom emojis and chat. Thank you very much for the support, buddy. Jim Blythe, in real time, is real-time engine monitoring just a Rolls-Royce thing, or do they all provide it? No, I have no idea. I know Rolls-Royce do it from one of the documentaries I remember reading about it, but nothing apart from that. So yeah, ZIBO v LevelUP, which one's more realistic? The sounds and textures preferred in this aircraft. I think the handling I prefer in the mod. You can sound biased, but there's a few things which I pointed out. The climb out, so the pitch responsiveness is very sensitive in pitch with small inputs, and the roll rate I will demonstrate on final with a landing flap, and the roll rate is very, very slow, much slower than expected, so I'll have to see how things are today. And the thrust is a too little drag with landing flap and gear.
Correct information, echo in range. Correction now, information.
Aaron, has there ever been a case where a plane can't take off because of the weight of luggage in the plane? Well, I mean, yes, there's been cases. It's not necessarily the luggage, just that the maximum takeoff weight is restricted by the weight of the aircraft passengers and cargo, and it's been. You've got obviously the aircraft certified maximum takeoff weight, but then you have something called your RTOW, which is the maximum weight you can lift on that runway you're taking off with the given conditions. And I've been exposed to situations where I've tried the most efficient flap setting, it bleeds off takeoff, and I've been sort of a little bit too heavy. Now, thankfully, you can sort of wait for the wind to improve. If it's a tailwind, it's quite restrictive on the performance, or try a different flap setting or improve climb and get out of there. But generally speaking, the 737 and MAX has very good performance, so there's not many airports where you're that restricted, but when it's a lot hotter than expected, you can get caught out. Yeah, you'd have to offload passengers ultimately, and bags, or another option is to divert en route to a destination that's closer to refuel. Jim Life, are you currently rated on the MAX? Should company transition to it? Yes. The 737 MAX is a common type rating with the 737 NG, just requires some differences training, and that's it really. So that's some ground school. Morpheus, curious how the weight of the plane is determined. Is the landing gear capable of measuring the weight? No, it's not. It's all based off estimated weights of passengers, Morpheus. So when you get a loading document, we have a presumption that every bag weighs 13 kilos and that every passenger weighs 84 kilos. That is much heavier than the average. That ensures that when we calculate our performance, it's based off a weight which is very likely, or is heavier than we actually are. The actual weight is probably on a fully loaded aircraft, maybe a ton less on an NG or a MAX, but that's how it's always done, we presume. In Europe, 84 kilos per passenger, 13 kilos per checked-in bag, and that's like it's what is standard weights. So, Clive, well, if you unload passengers, imagine the arguments on board. Well, the passengers that are, if they're asked to, I've never had to do it, but are often given an incentive, so typically a cash payment and accommodation for the night, and I think the cash payment can be sometimes quite generous, so some people actually will actually argue about as to who wants to get off, but a lot of airlines overbook for that reason. Airlines overbook because typically not everyone turns up at the gate, so they can always still fill their seats, but sometimes all the passengers do turn up, and yeah, you've got no choice because there isn't physically enough seats. But they usually do that at the gate, and it's quite a generous compensation. Morpheus, standard weight of passengers different depending the country. You've got to be careful what you say there. No, it's standard weight. Well, in Europe it is. I don't know if anyone here is a dispatcher or uses any other mass and balance figures, but 84 is what we use. Matty, yes. 84 accommodates the cabin bag as well.
405 copy. Did you want the RNAV 08?
Well, that would be perfect, yeah, if we could get it, the RNAV 08 position.
Cool. So where are we overhead? Nothing you want to hear from your aircraft commander, but I have no clue.
That's perfect, I appreciate that. Direct present position, like good here for...
So it's mounted. So look at it. It's very high terrain here, isn't it?
Springbok 369, reports are ready for the
Springbok, is that South African's call sign? What's going on below? Deco, how many seats do airlines usually book on average? And I have absolutely no idea. Absolutely no idea.
South Africa radar, Alpaca 67, request 104-350, please. Alpaca 627,
20.
Andy Robinson, thank you very much. Very generous of you, sir. $5 donation.
I can give you flight tree 40 if you'd like.
Been a while since I caught you live, but
Hello.
I always watch the replays. Love your video.
Andy, thank you very much for the $5. Appreciate that, buddy. Coming in for the United States of America. Been a while since you've watched me live. I'm living, but I think it always says that. Live, I think the word is. You're looking for Microsoft Bob. But I always watch the replays. Love your videos. Well, thank you very much for watching my previous streams, but also for coming in today live. Really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much for your generosity. Where are you coming in from, Andy, in the United States? Most kind, sir. Thank you. Coming in live. Brilliant. Oh, little oscillation there. I think X-Plane still has its live weather issues. NM Flyer says, is it easier being a pilot in Europe or US? Well, it's the same game, really. Different airlines have different SOPs. I think the way, and certainly only from exploring it online on VATSSA, where they do procedures quite realistically, ATC procedures are very different in Europe, but does it make it any easier or harder? Not really. Same challenges, same weather conditions can still see in both parts of the world, so yeah. Wouldn't really know. Matty, if a flight is overbooked, can a passenger travel on the cabin crew jumpsuit for free? No. Certainly not my operator. Cabin jumpsuits can't be occupied by passengers. Now, crew members that are travelling on duty can occupy, but not passengers.
Charlie Tango Victor, for runway 19 at Cape Town.
Right, Rocks, can you explain the differences between Max 8 and a Max 8 200? Is it just seating configuration? Yeah, essentially, the Max 8 200 is an ultra high density configuration used by airlines like Ryanair, and was it Indigo, or someone said an Indian airline doing last stream as well, whereas the Max 8 has a slightly different configuration with less doors. There's no additional door on the 8-200.
10101, information, Foxtrot and range, report ready for descent, no speeds.
Cool. Sun setting. The sim's going to look better and better as that sun gets lower. Beautiful. So that beautiful ortho I spent ages downloading last night. Not Indigo. Allegiant in the US has the A200. What was the Indian airline someone mentioned? I think it was last, we were discussing it on the member stream, which aircraft operates the A200. Obviously in Europe, Ryanair is the largest operator of the Max 8-200s. I think there was a couple of others in Europe, and then the US, yeah, Allegiant was one of them as well. I love the sort of sun effect on the textures. It's sort of, you can sort of see like the skin wrinkles. Very nice. Beautiful. It's very nice.
Expect in about half a mile. It's got 4715 in the United States.
Block 405, information Delta in range, descent flight level 100.
Descent level 100, we have data on board, Springbok 405.
Cool. In-flight, do you prefer Boeing or Airbus? What a ridiculous question. HMS Daring, do you provide feedback to Level Up team for flight modelling? I don't. Morpheus, did you download Level Up through Orbex or directly from the website? Directly from the website, which I will get the link for now for you. There you go. And what's the general rule for flaps for landing in the 7.3? Flap 30 is the default flap setting, flap 40 for shorter runways. Second train, Embraer or Bombardier? Embraer or Bombardier, I always get muddled up between the two. Awful what happened in Afghanistan as well, wasn't it? We were discussing that the last couple of days whilst flying with my colleague. And I think as Putin said he's apologised, hasn't he, for essentially shooting it down, but awful. And credit to the crew, God may they rest in peace, with getting that stricken aeroplane to a position to actually get the aircraft on the ground. So you know, they got it level, got on the ground, did the best they could do, and obviously they lost half the crew and more than half the passengers, but how the people walked out and survived at the back of that plane is a miracle. But they got that plane as best as they could with what conditions they had to maximise the amount of lives they could save. One of the things we do in training, we do some resilience training in the sim, which is ungraded at the end here, and we look at sort of these scenarios which sort of do give you no time available, so you do have to ditch, and ultimately, you know, there's very limited guidance from airlines on what to do in these situations because it's so unlikely to happen. But essentially there is some guidance from Boeing that's saying, look, if you have to land off field, you know, try to find a flat area, body of water, don't land stalled. It's far better to use the word lightly, crash, but in an unstalled condition, belly down.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa,
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, go ahead.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, after Geaton, clear Charlie Tango Victor, Cape Town landing runway 19.
After Geaton, we can route direct to Charlie Tango 30 Alpha, expecting runway 19, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa.
Just confirm the direct point after is Charlie Tango Victor, the Cape Town VOR.
Apologies, after Geaton, direct to Cape Town VOR, expecting runway 19, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, thank you.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, correct information, Foxtrot and range, report ready for, correction, report ready for descent.
We'll have a listen to it later and we'll call ready for descent, thank you, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. So, Geaton to the VOR, and then we'll get rid of this waypoint here. We want to get onto the ILS afterwards, so ILS Zulu 19er.
290 or less for descent, Taffet 259.
I think we will put that once.
Negative speed 290 knots exact.
So something like that.
Speed 290 knots, Taffet 259. Taffet 21 Tango, contact Cape Town.
So it looks a bit messy. Oh no, I don't want that waypoint. I want to see. Aha, that's what I want after Cape Town VOR.
Tango, turn right now, heading tree 20.
Uh-oh. Please don't break. That's it, perfect. So that's something in the FMC which roughly replicates what we're going to do. Great. Top of the still 300 miles away. And we'll listen to the 80s when we get a bit closer.
Robot 1525, speed 280 knots. Speed 280.
Alex, flap 40 for Cat 32. No, you can use flap 30 now. We used to hit flap 40 on it, my operator, but we use now flap 30 and 40. Flap 40 I generally like to use because you have a slightly lower altitude, gives you a better view out the window, but it really doesn't make much difference. But I did flap 30 auto lands this week. Perfect. Yeah, they're doing a great job with that. Rest in peace, they may. Oh wow, co-pilot went to the same school as pilot blog in Ukraine, he became a pilot in 2021. Yeah, pilots did perish unfortunately. Yeah, I think it's fair, yeah, they had loss of hydraulics. We'll have to see what the investigation says, but that was an aircraft that essentially I think they were having to control using just thrust alone.
Sapphire 23 Charlie, South Africa.
Sapphire 23 Charlie, my apologies.
Provider Rocks, why does LEAP 1B need motoring even on the first flights of the day when engines are equal to ambient temps? I thought it's only when engines are hot because of the drive shaft. Very good question. There's always an element of motoring required, but the motoring, the boat rotor motoring is a lot quicker when the engines are cold, because obviously, as you said, yeah, the temperature, the core isn't hot. So on the first flight it typically takes on average 15 to 30 seconds, whereas on a turnaround when the engines are hot, I've seen it take up to 2 minutes for BRM. It's all controlled automatically by the EC, so we just, once motoring is complete, fuel at 25%, head to and go from there. Now, Bill, how long until landing? Approximately 41, an hour and 10 minutes. Second train, I believe the Q4XP is on sale for $6 if you care. I've not flown that aircraft for a very long time. That's good. Great aircraft as well. Maybe we need to look at that again soon. I've got so many aircraft I want to fly. But yes, check out the Q4XP -8. Great add-on. Jammin, is total hydraulic losses scenario you train for in the sim? Yes, so during the type rating we do demonstrate something called manual reversion. So if you lose all hydraulics in the 737, you can still manipulate the flight controls by physically moving the control column. The rudder is still fully effective because you do have a standby hydraulic system. Well, if you lost that as well, you had a very bad day at the office. But yeah, you can still manipulate, roll and pitch using the primary controls. It's incredibly difficult to do. Heavy controls usually requires 2-pilot input. Electric trim is available, stab trim. So even if you lose all hydraulics, you can still pitch using the electric stab trim. And yeah, we just demonstrated during the type rating. I've landed off it and I was exhausted, but it is doable. And there is guidance from Boeing. And there's also guidance outside the scope of non-normal situations regarding, if you actually lose the ability to pitch the aircraft, use thrust and turn, and very basic guidance there. But it's so unlikely to happen unless, obviously, if you've been shot down or had a rocket fired at you. Yeah, Sioux City, I think it is similar, Jay Whiteside, with regards to what the flight crew had to do regarding controls. Yeah, exactly. The chart, I think second train, you're quite right. I think external factors would destroy full hydraulics. It's incredibly unlikely. The only situation I could think of is also that the JAL 747, where the entire rear bulkhead blew off, and that severed all the hydraulics. As Cuban Demon has just said, that's the pilot that managed to keep the aircraft there for that long. Reminds me of JAL 123. Yeah, vertical stabilizer was lost. All hydraulics managed to fly for a little while. Yeah, all these people are exposed to these situations, and I, touch wood, hope myself and none of my colleagues or anyone ever gets exposed to that. Very much want to have a boring aviation career. There is a saying I read once where a lot of people came up with interesting stories as pilots they've had in their career. I won't want that. I want to have the most boring aviation career possible. And 14 years, touch wood, 8,000 hours later, I've had nothing where I've been scared or gone, now I'm really having to work hard. Touch wood. Pastor Escobar, good day to you. Happy holidays to you and yours. Same to you, my friend. Hope you're doing very well. And you have to catch up with me soon, because I remember you saying your career change was on the foot last time we spoke.
Sector 23 Charlie, request a lower speed other than 300 knots.
Someone doesn't like going fast.
Robot 1525, sorry, who was the last station calling for lower speed? Sector 23 Charlie, I'm getting
does this have a
warning.
Overspeed? Let's listen in.
Unable for 300 knots.
Someone's getting overspeed warnings.
You shouldn't be doing 300 knots now, otherwise I would be concerned too. It's on the conversion, so when your airspeed hits 300, well, I don't have the best explanation.
Yes, he's probably trying to do 300 knots now.
At that point, then switch over from Mach to knots, not 300 now. Otherwise, yeah, I would be concerned.
bit of great aviation education there as well. I think you misunderstood on conversion and descent indicated airspeed 300 knots. Yes, 300 knots in the cruise. We'd probably do about Mach 1.2 TNG. So you don't want to be doing those sort of speeds. That's brilliant, but great that the controller recognised the error and educated. because obviously if you maintain a fixed Mach number in descent, your indicated airspeed will increase. Keeping David flying Manchester, couldn't see the runway till about 100 feet. Yep, it's been LVPs all week. Undisclosed base. I've been Cat 3. We saw the runway 200 feet on Thursday. Yesterday wasn't as bad. We were visual about 400. But my operator, whenever we fly auto lands to a protected runway, Cat 2 or Cat 3, we always fly to completion even if the weather improves. But yeah, on Thursday we're about 100 feet above minimums. Cat 3 is about 150 RA. Approach lights were coming in. But if you go flying this week, you get to 600 feet, guys, and it's beautiful, completely clear, sun is shining brightly. It's just completely overcast over the whole southern part of the UK. 600 feet above, you're clear. It's clear skies. Marlin is a known controller. Very good. Oh, he helped out that person in dire straits. I loved how he said, "Oh, I can't do 300 knots. I'm overspeeding." But every day's a learning day. Morpheus, can an auto land in zero visibility, or do you always need to see the runway? Great question. So, my operator, we have RVR approval down to 175 meters, but we have to always respect the chart. So most approaches in Europe is 200 meters RVR. Some airlines have approval to land in zero visibility, and that requires on the 737 a FALE operational auto land system. I'm led to believe we don't have that system. We have FALE passive, and the aircraft needs to be capable of having that. The crew qualified, the runway qualified as well. But I think, is it Cat 3B now? I don't think they have Cat 3C. I don't know much about it, but I think Cat 3B you can have RVR of 0 meters. But it's an expensive investment for an airline to invest in that. And how many days in the year do I see RVRs less than sort of even 200 meters? Very rarely. So it's Cat 3 is usually sufficient for most days of the year. SB 2008 in Mumbai, it's RVR 900 meters at 2 PM. Oh dear. Is that mostly smog and smoke? Round, I have my own take on an old saying. Any landing that ends up with the nose gear still attached is a good landing. Yeah, fair point. Well, I did see that Aer Lingus. There was no video, but there was a photo. Was it landing in Belfast? It absolutely stonked it on the nose and it collapsed. Oof. Geonautum M62 was sunny above the fog. Well, there you go. Yep, pollution. I thought it was so. 2008. Douglas, do you keep track of how many go-arounds you've had? Ooh, no. I could probably, certainly in the last 3 years, I've done 3 go-arounds. I've done 3 go-arounds in the last 3 years. 1 in Barcelona, 1 in Krakow, and 1 in Lanzarote in the last 3 years. Krakow was ATC, and they put their hands up and apologised to us. We were on a 4-mile final in Krakow, and they cleared an aircraft to line up and wait for an immediate departure. This aircraft was nowhere near the hold point, so we were told to fly minimum approach speed. We got to 2 miles, just below 800 feet, and the aircraft hadn't lined up yet. So basically, they just essentially just basically lined them up, and we just said, "Is this going to work?" And then at the same time, they cancelled the lineup clearance of the aircraft. We were at around 700 feet, and then I'd already pushed toga. But you know, they were. ATC were like really sorry. I said, no, it's fine. You know, we thought you weren't going to cancel my lineup clearance, but that was about 700 feet. I pushed toga, and they as soon as I pushed toga, they were cancelling the lineup allowance. So that was that one. What was it? Barcelona was Spanish ATC. This is again. ATF have a really tough job. I really respect them, but sometimes there can be some poor communication. So we were flying into Barcelona. We were told to fly 160 knots or greater by the approach controller. We turned final, and we 180 knots or greater. We said there's traffic 3 miles ahead. Can we start slowing down? Negative 180 knots or greater. And we're like, okay, what's the traffic ahead? It's an ATR. So 10 miles, an ATR is 3 miles ahead of us, told to do 180 knots or greater. I contacted Tower. Tower said minimum approach speed immediately, you're flying too fast. And I said, okay, minimum approach speed, but please can you talk to your colleague? He's told us to maintain 180 knots or greater. Literally 10 seconds ago. And then we were told to go around. And when we went around, I went around at 1500 feet. Okay, the ATR was at 700 feet. And I looked on flight radar afterwards. When we went around, I was starting to reduce to 180. Our ground speed was about 170. The ATR's ground speed was 100 knots. So I would have hit it before they hit their runway. So I spoke to the controller on the next frequency, and he didn't say anything. I said, just confirm the speed was 180 knots. Oh, just file a report. File a report. Okay. So that happened, and then the Lanzarote was just not visual off runway 21. So they had to land on 0-0, stonking tailwind, just about got it. So yes, sometimes I fully respect that ATC's under a lot of pressure sometimes, and I would struggle to do their job. But you know, we're all human, we all make mistakes, and sometimes you just have to recognise the situation before it develops into anything worse, and go around yourself.
Starlink Street Golf Echo, descent flight level 160. I'm descending level 160, Starlink Street Golf
Cool.
Echo.
Rotan, hi there, love 3D printing airplane models. I want to do a Lockheed TriStar, very cool. Okay, on frequency, very good. EGA 89 Tango, listen up. SP 2008, it's a mistake in the PG on the trim switches. Nose down is pointing upwards, and up is pointing downwards. What are you referring to there, the trim switches? These switches here? So if you, this is going to disconnect the autopilot, but that's trim nose down, trim nose up. It's all working correctly in the PMDG. Command A.
Thunder 576, correct information. Foxtrot in range. Report ready for descent next.
Beautiful out there now. Look, now the sun's set, the lighting in the sim comes alive, night lighting, and the cockpit looks. Ground textures look phenomenal. Here with the ortho. Douglas, thanks for the stories. So 3 go-arounds for a pilot. My chances of being on a go-around is pretty low. But yeah, that's 3 in the last 3 years. I'd say total FO and captain maybe 7, 8. They're the 3 last ones I've done the last 3 years. As captain, I've diverted twice. I think no, 3 times I've diverted as captain, and that's in. When I do my command upgrade, end of 2018. So 6 years, 5 years. I've done 3 diversions, and how many hours? About 5,000 hours. So yeah, they're rare. They do happen. And all the diversions, 2 were weather related. 1 was runway closure, which was not planned. Runway became blocked or had damage on it in a Scottish airport. Still happens to this day.
Charlie Delta, hello, clearance Port Elizabeth to George, flight level 200 on request. After departure 08, non-standard, maintain runway track.
Okay, I got permission to say something. I said, hi, flight sim, love the work. Hopefully you can reach 100,000 by the end of the year. Oh, thank you very much. I don't think I'll reach that K. If you do that via VATSSA, no need to say on ATC or frequency, especially on a busy one like this. Feel free to DM that anytime though in the chat. Thanks for the kind words, sir. I don't think we'll reach 100,000 by the end of the year. What's that, 4 days? Next year. I'm very confident next year. 10th of January, 8 years I've been creating content on Flight Deck to Sim. And 100,000 subscribers, no doubt, around the corner.
Control, give me 40, Mike, with your flight level 240. 788, Mike and Lou.
Tom, if ATC makes an error that forces you to go around, do you generally file a report? Is it just forgotten about? Depends really. Different airlines have different procedures. My operator, we have to file reports for go-arounds below 1,000 feet. Above 1,000 feet, we don't actually need to file a report. You can if you want. In fact, our airline very much encourages you to file reports on anything safety operational related. But for the crack of one, I had to, because it was below 1,000 feet anyway. Generally just close it. Again, we're all human. Mistakes are made. But touch wood, I've never had anything that's jeopardised the safety of the aircraft.
Thank you very much, Alpha 4 and Alpha 3 for the gate for Springbok 4 over. Foxtrot 435, thanks. Alpha, cross the threshold 17 Alpha train.
Jim Live says, departing Heathrow 2 years ago and we were spooling up the engines, we stopped. Apparently flight plan was cancelled at the last possible minute due to a freak storm ahead. Oh, crikey. That's unlucky.
Street Golf Echo, D10 flight level 100.
SB 2008's tiny arrows on the side of the electronic trim switches. Oh, there's a bit of a weird oscillation in my control column. What, these? I think that's not the real aircraft. Tell you what, I really don't know, don't look. Nico, great comment. Yeah, well, I have no idea why Krakow only has Cat 1. It causes a problem all the time in Poland. Krakow is one of the busiest Polish airports as well. Obviously not as busy as Chopin, but Krakow, for its size of operation, to only have Cat 1 when you have airports like Wrocław, which has Cat 2, much quieter. Poznan's Cat 2 as well, I think. A lot, many smaller airports have it, but I think Krakow's getting Cat 2. But yeah, Krakow, they've had a lot of diversions in the winter. And snow. Poznan's Cat 3, well there you go. I was in an undisclosed Polish airport this time yesterday, and did a Cat 2 on it. And then I had to do remote de-icing, freezing fog, with engines running, as I said at the start of the stream. Keeping Demon, have you ever had burst strikes whilst flying? Yes. I've also had core ingestion as well, where you have to have the engines inspected after landing. I once took off from Alicante when I was a first officer years ago, and we had a bird hit about... it was near the probes, I think it was just in front of it here, but it made a whopping great big sound, and the captain and I were like, oh! It was about 800 feet, it was night time, and we just heard this massive, like, bang, you know. I don't like to sort of jump scare, but it was like... Not like that sound, but that was how loud it was, that initial poof, and we were like, whoa, what was that? We were like checking the engine indications, and we were like, no, that was a bird. And it did actually dent the radome, just beyond it here, and it had it actually travelled a bit more to hit the pitot tube, probably damaged the pitot tube. So yeah, it actually dented this part here just before the radome, and thankfully it was our last flight of the day, so it would have been grounded otherwise. So they had to fix that. Goodness knows what it would hit, but it was big, and enough to make a big bang. But yeah, I've had engine core ingestion. Usually most burst strikes are from small birds. It just leaves a few blood splats. But yeah, it can happen. Did the bird survive? No, I think it didn't. Somewhere in a field in the UK, buried or eaten. Nico, you flew from Nuremberg to Krakow yesterday. It was really... we're only Cat 1 capable, and since we only had 200 meters RV, we stayed in Nuremberg. It's even worse. Some patient on board from the USA. Uh-oh. Yeah, if you're Cat 1 limited in Europe and UK at the moment, your operations really happen. I was seeing most of cancellation diversions are sort of from the turboprop aircraft and biz jets. They can't operate in those conditions, not all of them.
String up 125, cleared to George, flight at 240, after departure non-standards, maintaining runway 2, climbing initially flight level 90, squawk 4764. About 1255, connect, call for push.
So we're flying over Aberdeen! Oh! Aberdeen, South Africa. There we are. And there it is. I've never flown over Aberdeen before. Is anyone here ever been to Aberdeen, South Africa before? There it is. That's an airstrip. Excuse me. Alex, have you ever flown anyone famous? I have. And I'll never forget this, but I forget his name. A snooker player once. I think he's passed away. I said hello to him, but I couldn't remember his name. Willie Fawn. Yes, Willie Fawn, who unfortunately passed away now. He was a passenger on one of my flights. I remember the cabin crew going, there's a famous snooker player. I was like, who? Willie Ford. Like, who's that? I've heard of the Ronnie O'Sullivan, the Rocket. But I looked him up, I was like, oh, I recognise him. Yeah, he was a passenger on one of my flights. There you go. But he passed away, unfortunately, 20 something. I had to look him up online. Where did it say in the article? 2020. Eddie, thanks. 31 months of member buddy. I captain flying behind on Alpaca 627. Kindly walk us through your arrival and approach. Will do. We'll start setting up when we're about 150 miles from top of descent.
Taxi, it's runway 11 by the way, so taxi on point Alpha 1.
Nico, what do you think about the roll control and the new level up? I feel like roll control feels quite weak and pitch too sensitive, but it's adjustable. Nico, very good analysis yourself. Exactly the same. Pitch too sensitive, roll not enough, especially when configured for landing. What is going on? There's a bit of a weird oscillation here, is that? That was me. Right, autopilot disconnected. Command. So it's making lots of weird oscillations. The autopilot, look at that. Yeah, roll is way too insensitive. And it flown Mary Berry? Don't think so. Have I said I've flown Mary Berry in the past? Probably have, but she's probably more famous than Woody Fawn was. Martin, is it true that subscribers who fly with you get to fly in the cockpit jump seat? Yes, true. No. As much as I'd love to have half of you in the front, unfortunately I can't allow that.
South Africa Control, Scandinavian 252,
Yeah, the autopilot. I was worried there's a bit of noise on my yoke, but look, see, look at the pitch doing that. If as soon as I disconnect the autopilot, look, stops. So this is nice. See, look at that. It's very clever, isn't it? All this modern technology. But yeah, it's nice and smooth when I make no input. When I engage the autopilot, Command A, it's making lots of little random inputs. Look at that.
That radar will tell you. I don't actually have any information on it. So when you're over radar, they'll just tell you the landing runway.
Perfect. Very nice one. It will be a night landing in Cape Town. Sun just about to dip below the horizon. Cody, how's the examiner gig going? Anything you didn't anticipate now this far into the role? Very well, Cody. I am sort of 8 months in now. I'm not in a position to disclose what I've had and had not to do in the sim, and thanks for respecting my privacy. Generally, I really enjoy the job. Every day's a learning day. We do a lot of training and checking by operator as well. Things which are sort of steep learning curves are when you have different licenses. So we sometimes have ICO licenses coming in from Brazil, and it's just crossing the T's and dotting the I's of all the paperwork. Just really the main important element of the job. But yeah, it's something I really enjoy doing. I seem to have a lot of respect from colleagues as well, but essentially I still feel I have a lot to learn, and I feel I'm adapting as an examiner as well. But yeah, I love every element. I love the checking, I love the training, the line training as well. And ever since I qualified as LTC Theory this year, beginning of this year, it's all I ever do. But it's a nice balance between checking, instructing, flying, line training, and I wouldn't be doing anything different. So yeah, it's good. It's good. No scary stories. Who was that there? Matt, thanks 37 months, buddy. Do a Ryanair landing for me, please. Wish you the best in 2025. Captain in chat as well. What's wrong with Ryanair's landing? Yeah, so to displace a popular internet myth regarding certain airlines and their landings, and I think a certain amount of comments are made towards low-cost carriers, and why do they sometimes have hard landings? all airlines have hard landings. Airlines like Ryanair have a huge amount of passengers carried each day. How many flights? 3,000-4,000 flights a day. Obviously that exposes them to social media videos online, so you see a lot more as well. Every airline flies a Boeing 737, 78, 777 or Airbus 320, 330, 340 are taught landing techniques, and it's from Boeing. We apply it, and every other airline applies that criteria as well. I have hard landings from time to time. Generally, the more experienced you gain, the more consistent your landings become. But I had this year I flew to an undisclosed French airport at the beginning of the year, and it was a short runway, flat 40, and I absolutely chonked it down, nearly bounced, but it was quite limiting on performance with max auto, so I sort of had to touch down at the aiming point, and I absolutely chonked it, and I said to the FA, please don't open the door. He was going, way after landing, so we all have them. Yeah, it's to displace the popular myth. Every airline trains their pilots the same way, and that's to land safely. And Boeing very much say, look, the criteria for a safe landing is not a smooth one. It's to land in the touchdown zone. And what you think, guys, is a hard landing, the aircraft can take much more. Great. Josh X, how many new pilots do you sign off every month roughly? Depends on the airline and recruitment, but larger airlines will recruit maybe hundreds of pilots a year. Generally speaking, most of my checks are the recurrent LPCs and OPCs. So the OPC is the 6-month check, the LPC is the same combined OPC check where you renew the type rating, instrument rating, and sign the license.
Good evening, next time 674.
Ansi, that's it. Good landing, walk away, great landing, get to use the aeroplane again. Absolutely. Black Dogs have had rough landings flying on almost every US carrier. Yeah, absolutely. You just have to type in YouTube. You type in Ryanair hard landing, British Airways hard landing, Virgin Atlantic hard landing, Indigo hard landing. Every airline has hard landings. Does it mean the pilots are poorly trained? Absolutely not. We are all human, and in certain conditions it's more challenging to land as well. So as long as we're in the touchdown zone, landing at the appropriate rate of descent, that's safe. Matty! Yes, Courchevel! No! You gave it away! Don't say Courchevel! Greg, thanks 46 months, buddy. Hope you had a great Christmas. Had a bad cold, now packing for my flights to... Is that Brazil somewhere, Craig? Can't remember. Getting psyched up to deal with the TSA agents at Dallas Fort Worth. Good luck travelling. I can understand it's stressful, especially this time of year. Best of luck, and thanks for your continued support as a member, buddy. Who watched that thing on Netflix? Maybe think of TSA agents. Carry on. That was a bit funny, wasn't it? I thought it was quite a good story. Very far-fetched, but I quite enjoyed watching it. We watched it on just before Christmas. Right, we best start setting up here, hadn't we? 150 miles? Look at that. Yeah, stop us. I'm going to hide that away because that's annoying me. I should be doing this. Right. Descent page. This is how we start. Winds in. Let's fetch them from A-cars.
10160, hello again, cleared the
Here it comes. Loads. Great, winds are in. We'll execute that. It's QNH. Let's grab the ATIS for Cape Town. So I'll tune on box 2.
Yeah, found the runways inside, so let's be good. Marling Street Golf Echo, thanks. Radar services terminated, cleared straight in visual approach.
So hopefully if we turn this up, hit the ATIS. This is the problem with single pilot ops on VATSSA. You can't really get the ATIS and listen to the radio at the same time, but that's what you do in real life. The pilot monitoring will grab the ATIS on box 2, whilst the PF will take the radios. So what we're going to do is turn it off now and just grab it off text, but that's how you do it. So information, Foxtrot. It's quite old actually, it's 1700 Zulu, so it's almost an hour old, this ATIS. It's VMC, expect ILS approach runway 19er. SIDSTAR's not in use, transition level 90. Surface wind 210 at 14, it's down the runway almost. 10k, 23 degrees, 17. QNH is 1010. Lovely evening basically, just a bit of a ease down the runway. QNH 1010. Fixturing's in for runway 19er. 10 and 4. Something like that. So, we have been told by the controller to route direct to get in, then to the VOR, which is over the airport. We're never going to get to that VOR, but expect vectors. So what we're going to do is create a waypoint about sort of 6 miles before Cape Town. We'll generate one. How do you do that? Select the waypoint you want to make, put /, let's say 6 miles, we'll put that there, and you can see, look, I've made a waypoint here. We can then execute that, and from there route direct to CI19, and that's going to be a little bit more representative of our track miles. I could even create a waypoint off CI119 here, the centre fix. So if I put this maybe about 120 at 4 miles, there you go, look, can't teach it. And this is the beauty of the 737 FMC in comparison to the Airbus one. You can create anything you like using the FMC off any radial and distance. So I've put something in the FMC which is more representative of what we can expect, which gives us the best VNAV guidance for the approach. If we get to this waypoint here, we've not been given any clearance, we just have to go heading select and route direct to the VOR as cleared. But that's a much more reflective of our expected approach. At CI101, I will bring the speed back to 180 knots or below, because that's the recommended speed on base leg. Looking good. The altitudes in the FMC are what I anticipate and expect at each waypoint, which is good to see. You can see VNAV making the calculations for the heights. HDLZ, you can do the same thing in the A320. No, you can't. It's no. It's impossible. 320 FMC is like magic. You know, you need to be some sort of sorcerer to work out how that works. This is easy. That's all done. So no stars expected. That's what it says in the ATIS. Let's now look at the ILS approach runway 19. The star I did have in was this one, which is pretty much exactly what I put in, except it's 8 miles from Cape Town instead of 6. ILS approach runway 19. Let's tune the frequencies. 109.1. Active. Oops. Twice. Course is 1901. Set once. Twice. So frequencies are set. We'll put the Cape Town VOR 15.7 on standby. 15.7. 15.7. Excellent. So we're going to climb vectors. Descent vectors onto the approach. 3,000 feet is the platform altitude to intercept at Foxtrot India 19. It's a 3.2 degree glide slope, slightly steeper than normal. Just watch out for the approach speed on that, but we've got a nice headwind today. That checks in the FMC. The minimums based off a Cat 1 ILS, we could definitely do the 2.9% missed approach climb gradient in the NG. We'd have to check that using the OPT in reality, but we can accept decision altitude of 347, which is 200 feet AGL. So we'll just set 347, and the RVR is 550 meters. So let's just set the minimums now. 347. Good. Frequencies, courses, minimums are set. So onto the ILS. Down we go. Pappies left and right, high intensity approach lights, and the missed approach event of a go around will push toga, called go around flat 15, set go around for us, positive rate of climb, gear up, 400 feet, should be able to select LNAV. We'll climb to 4,500 feet, track runway heading until 4.5 DME, left turn back to the VOR to hold or as directed. We've got runway 19, 4 miles here, which is replicating the 4,500. And then there's the turn back to the VOR, but we'll probably get a vector of some sorts. Great. So landing runway 19, it's 3,200 meters. Plan to vacate Charlie 1 for ATC. That's probably around 2,200-ish meters. Let's do the performance. Just grab the performance calculator. So landing. Runway 19. Let's try flat 30. Landing weight, we just need to update. Going to burn about 1.3 tons of fuel. That's going to be 61.1, 60.8. Which is exactly what we're expecting. Flat 30, brakes, optimum, reverses, yes. Wind additive will be +7. Half headwind plus gust. Oh, very good. Can't change it, but looks like they're dry. Factored. Let's go with that. So that's showing actual landing distance 2,400 meters based off order brake 1. Well, let's try order brake 2. 2,200 meters. That's a little more likely to what we need. Factored is closer. So yeah, order brake 2 will work. 2245 to vacate at that point. So just close that. Perfect. Flat 30. Order brake 2. Go second D10 reverse and brake cooling. Plan to vacate at Mike. On the no, not right. Correction, Charlie. So we're not going to take Mike's left. Charlie to the right, and then we'll taxi on to stand from there. Good. We've covered everything beautifully. Descent checklist we can now do.
Descent checklist. Pressurization.
We still have over 80 miles till descent.
Off.
Approach briefing and fuel.
Discussed.
IAS and alt books.
I haven't been listening to ATC actively.
Descent checklist complete.
To keep listening out. Good. Now the sun is set. The lighting in the sim has come alive. Looks very nice. Dome is off. Beautiful. Sorry, chat. As I was briefing you, I sort of got a bit distracted. Isn't it your job to teach people this? Yes, Greg. Cubing. When flying in the US, controllers normally say taxi via X-ray to the ramp. Do pilots get to choose the stand? No. So the stand is usually allocated, and ATC in Europe usually tax you and advise you of what stand to expect. Some airports have follow me car guidance. Jim Bob Alive says, are we operating ATC by messages yet in real life or indeed in the sim? Yeah, CPDLC is mandatory now in Europe. Not every area has it, but it's used en route. Greatly reduces frequency or distractions on frequency. Flat 15 landing for kicks. Brilliant. V-Sky check, hope you're doing well. Have you tested all the series? I'm currently focusing on the 600. No, so the 800 is the one I've chose to test because it's obviously the one I'm familiar with. We had a little test departure, did some hand flying. The control inputs were okay, very sensitive in pitch with small inputs, and roll not sensitive enough, but otherwise there were some nice inputs. A lot of similarities to the ZIBO, enjoying the improved textures and sounds. Shavrix, flight deck, were you a CFI at one point? Nope. I've only ever been an instructor examiner at my operator. I was never a flying instructor in the past. But airlines can train in-house, and most airlines have very reputable in-house flight training. So I have my training department to thank, of which I'm part of, for the excellent training I received when I became an SFI in 2016 and a TRI TRE in the last year, and training captain. And how often do you have to do flat 15 for currency? Flat 15 is a non-normal landing flap setting in the NG, only for non-normal situations. For example, an engine failure, or certain situations with loss of hydraulics or flight control issues, such as stabilizer trim. Great Christmas, thank you for your Skycheck. I hope you did as well. Hello Fraud 50, I've never had it explained. How would you say it compares to PMDG 737? The most commonly asked question on this channel. I love both sims. The PMDG is a more finished product, I'd say, polished, but there's elements of the ZIBO mod and LevelUP, I'd say, because it is essentially the ZIBO mod, this aircraft, which I do like, especially in regards to handling. But yes, I would advise any Microsoft Flight Sim users to try out X-Plane, and vice versa. If you're an X-Plane hardcore user, try out Microsoft Flight Sim. It's great out of the box. 2024 needs a bit of polishing, but yeah, we've only really concentrated on that sim in the career mode for fun, which I hope to stream episode 5 very soon. where we are almost in the position to purchase our own company. And we've had a lot of fun doing that. Shavix, what was your first plane you flew when you were getting training? A Cessna 150. Was it 3 or 4 streams ago? We found my logbook. We were going through all the aircraft I used to fly, and people were looking on flight radar. And a number of the aircraft I flew in my PPL and CPL. In the US, a number of the aircraft I flew in my CPL, the PA-28s, were flying at the time of the stream, which was pretty cool. Bit of polishing, blink twice, someone's holding a gun to your head. Yes, it needs a whole lot of work. Microsoft Flights in 2024. It's stumbled out the blocks spectacularly, in my opinion. At least Sonia isn't an explainer. True. Sonia, the Boren Banatoa manager. Ways, this is the ZIBO mod essentially, but flight model's a bit twitchy. Look at the after takeoff. JY said, oh, so they repaired all those planes you crashed. I presume you mean when I was our building. Okay. Oliver, is your logbook digital or do you still write them in? I stopped writing my paper logbooks about 4 years ago. I plan when I retire to start filling them. Would you like to see all my logbooks, ladies and gentlemen? There you go. I'm on my 4th pilot's logbook. First one, well actually first one was this one with my PPL. Completely full, chocker, no more space. Which I also had an Oxford one for. This is my first professional pilot's logbook, completely full, last page filled, and I'm currently on this one. But I haven't filled that in for 4 or 5 years. I started using a digital one, where I copied all this across. But yeah, I'll look at my. Let's have a look at my last big one. I can't obviously. Too much, gives away too much information. I think when I filled in the last page, I put how many total hours I had. No, I didn't. Yeah, every single page from range filled. Look, can't show you anymore with that. Close to 1%, guys. Not long to go. Can we see the coast? Not quite. Beautiful. It's daytime now. There's spectacular scenery, but we are using lifetime live weather today. Well, that the logbook exists, but the flight school is long gone. I know. CAE. What is it still? Is it now? Is it still CAE Oxford? They bought Oxford 2015, 2016. I was there in 2009, end of 2009, 2010, 2011. Sim 737 pilot, have you not tried the honeycomb bra with throttle sheds? Would have thought that you'd want the upgrade by now. This is fine. I think the honeycomb's better, but this for me, for the use and what I stream, is great. So for me to invest on that, you know, be a big investment, and it takes up a lot of space. But I do like it. I know there's a lot of like additional stuff for like Boeing, isn't there, and whatnot. So but yeah, this is fine for me. Jay Whiteside, what did you say? Yes, your comments were rude. Yes, I can easily cancel that order after winning that giveaway. SB 2008, you should try type rate Jack on the 7.3. Jack's downstairs. We lit the fire today. We've got a wood burning stove. It's on my Instagram story. So if you want to see Jack cutely relaxing downstairs by the fire, you can go see him. He won't be moving. He loves it when I turn the fire on. Light a fire. Generator using log tempo, no MCC pilot log. You've got the 777 throttles, 1174. So that's cool. Yeah, I've seen a lot of these add-ons for it. I might have a look into it. Just be cool to see. But the Thrustmaster Boeing ones, of course, is okay, but the functionality is absolutely fine. This guy is controlling a huge chunk of airspace. I mean, we've been on this frequency for an hour, and he's still vectoring people towards Cape Town, departures from all other airports in South Africa. Let's have a little look on the VATSSA map. Well, I say VATSSA map, Navigraph map now. Yeah, it's not too bad at all. Look, there's an aircraft behind us. When ready, descend flight level 160 free speed, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. So 160 free speed, yeah, there's no one coming in from the east. Yeah, it's quite enough. Let's say the Cape Town VATSSA events never get super busy, but they should get more traffic. And Europe and US gets a lot, which is expected because of the population, but go and explore some parts virtually in the world, it's good fun. Program, my favourite plane and why? Commercially, I don't really have a favourite. I love the one I fly, obviously, but it is the backbone of aviation, 73, commercial aviation. I love Concorde, the history of it, Spitfire. I've got a Spitfire Canada 2025, so I was looking at all the pictures and that, it's fantastic. Programmer, do you plan on flying commercial aviation? I do, sir. Airline pilot for a leading European airline based in the UK. Oh no, it's Cape Town approach he's handing people over to. Put that frequency next. So we'll test out on our VNAV guidance on the descent. It's been good, this aircraft. This is far better, this version of LevelUP, than the original one that launched, and we only did a couple of streams with. So out of the box, it's much better than the original one. Programmer, I thought you might have asked that question. There you go, there's the answer. But thank you very much for respecting my privacy. Alpaca Airways, of course. So, we didn't actually plan our alternate. Our alternate's to go to George. We need 2.8 tons, rise 3.7, so we've got an extra 900 kilos, about 20-25 minutes. The fuel burn's been bang on. No, just the one leg today, Ayub. Yeah, Josiah, this guy's controlling the whole of South Africa pretty much. That's nice in the sim now. And this is something that I want to see fixed in Microsoft Flight Simulator. See how it's completely smooth, the wind's steady. This is what it's like in the cruise 90% of the time. Look, nice and smooth, the speed is stable on altitude, and there are often little oscillations like this. This is what it's like. Microsoft Flight Simulator often get these little constant jumps in the airspeed indicator and altitude and motion, which is just not realistic. This is bubble. Yeah, it's holding up well, Poser. Some small adjustments needed in the flight controls, but as I always say, look, we're never going to match perfectly a real 737, but it simulates it really well. Anyway, coming up to top of descent log, 6 miles to go. Time of my landing, 42. Better text the boss what to do, what time I finished. Gosh, what's he using? A string and cup for the radio?
160 approaching number 100. 160, thanks, descent altitude 5000, the QNH 101.
There we are, top of descent. Down we go. It's a nice smooth transition, that's really nice. Notice how it shouldn't be really doing this. See how it's already deviating from path, but in path it usually locks onto this as you transition from cruise to descent. So, yeah, it's gone too early idle. Speed's dropping back and we're getting low on path even though we're on path. So that shouldn't, it's sort of coming back now, but it should be locked onto this. It's going to go FMC speed in a second though, because we're going to lose 15 knots on our indicators. But it is going to start increasing its rate of descent now to stay on path. There it goes, there's your green banana. Just about holding speed. There you go, FMC speed, so that's normal. The FMC's gone, right, you're going a bit low on speed here, so I'm going to add thrust for you. Hey, retard, no, shouldn't do it that soon. Now, this should have common VNAV, so if I open the speed window, we now have FMC speed. It's going to add thrust to maintain this speed while staying on path when on path, so that is the correct logic. That's good.
Chile 1 Alpha arrival from A05 from first position, route direct Chile.
There's the south coast of South Africa. Very nice. So waterfront, yeah, usually it's a nice smooth transition to an idle thrust descent. That transition to the initial descent has not been the most stable, but once we get onto our target speeds, we'll carefully monitor the performance. So I'm going to close the speed window now, so retard arm, okay, that's normal. Let's keep an eye on our target speed. Gianauta, go if B set VNAV common. It is on common VNAV. That is correct, Gianauta. We are on common VNAV logic, as just demonstrated.
Globe 6374, turn right heading 17 today. Right 170, globe 6374.
So our retard now arm. Perfect. So again, path, it should lock onto this. It should lock on with no deviation. But it's holding the speed a little better now. Good. B-Scotch, it is common, but the move actions have been a bit slow. Yes. But generally speaking, with the confines of a desktop simulator, very good behaviour. The FMAs are correct. We're on path now. Remember, in VNAV path, it only cares about path. It doesn't care about speed. It'll do its best to fly the target speed as planned, but that will deviate and can deviate. This is looking very nice now. This is great. It's just that transition from level flight to descent, but now we're on the descent, stabilised. Very nice. Guys, if you just tuned in, welcome aboard. We've just started our descent into Cape Town, South Africa. Live time, live weather in the LevelUP 737. First of all, it's pretty good. Some interesting flight control characteristics on departure, but nothing that's not manageable in a desktop simulator. If you're interested in the aircraft, use the command exclamation aircraft. If you want to see my older streams of this aircraft, look at the pinned comment in chat.
Approximately, if I can count, 6 miles.
ProGamer, for nearly 400 people, this is a really calm chat. We're all zen here, ProGamer. We're all zen.
14, thanks. The wind's 1706 knots from my 24, let's take off.
Oh, my auto throttle's disconnected. Wonderful, and I have thruster symmetry. I think there must have been a bit of noise there. Auto throttle engaged. Jordan, you're nervous? Why? Should be good. Rate it. Happy to do well, Jordan, as well. This is coming into my hometown. Pity caught you saying, oh, sorry, Kenny. Welcome. Welcome aboard.
Next time 674, report your indicated airspeed.
Next time 674, indicating 2907.
Next time 674, roger. Are you able for tree 1s at now?
Yes, we're able to increase to 31 zone next time 674.
Down we go.
Next time 674, thanks. Speed tree 1s at an or greater.
Very nice, this is great. Idle thrust, completely idle. And we've pegged on the path. And the speed's holding really nicely. It's taking these winds into account as well. Very well modelled. Nice. It's looking good.
Reducing speed 29 as well.
Nathan, right, why do you hide the lower D? Great question. The reason is if you have any exceedances in any secondary parameter, it'll pop up automatically, which helps you identify that you're dealing with an issue, so we leave it blank.
160, turn left heading 325.
Left heading 325, 160.
Alpaca Lima Papa, contact Cape Town approach, 119.47. Bye-bye.
197, and thank you very much to ATC Alpaca 8 Lima Papa Joe.
Going 6374, sorry for the...
Very professional, great ATC from him. Unknown, famous. Everyone knew him in chat. What was information? Can't remember. Let me just check the ATIS. Golf, and it's new, but pretty much the same weather. 2013, slightly less wind, great. QNH 1010, which I'll preset now. Cape Town approach, good evening, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, descending flight level 160, routing Getton, then the Cape Town VOR. Information we've copied is Golf.
Alpaca 81 Papa, good day, Cape Town approach. Can I expect radar vectors for ILS Zulu approach, runway 19?
Spec vectors for ILS Zulu runway 19 at Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Great.
Honda 576, turn right, heading 100.
Beautiful sunset now.
100, Lufthansa 576.
Lufthansa, he's had a long flight.
Captain approach, Bravo, leadership, Bravo, Tango.
Very nice. Anthony, what amazes me is that he has a clue on these other airplanes. If it was all I could do to keep one or two of them straight. Is that in relation to what I'm streaming? Anthony, I'm not sure. Oliver, favourite time to fly in real life? Daytime. Which is hard this time of year. See where I'm going? No, it doesn't really make much difference, to be fair, but I prefer daytime.
Alpaca 821 Papa, descend to flight level 90.
Set flight level 90, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Set VNAV path. So you see how the speed is slightly trickled high, completely normal behaviour because we're following a path, not a speed. You can adjust drag or add thrust as required.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, turn right, heading 330.
Right, heading 330 degrees, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. That's good, so that sounds like an initial vector for ILS Zulu runway 19er. So when we're off the path like this, we can sort of think about updating to a more convenient waypoint. Now, when I execute this, question chat, before I execute it, what can you anticipate happening? Me getting high on profile or low on profile? Let's see if you chat. If you guys and girls in chat know.
Welcome.
Pop the seatbelt sign on. High on profile. Excellent. It's a shortcut. Watch path. Execute. 3,800. In reality, the real aircraft takes a little bit more time to work that out. Now, this is the beauty of common VNAV. It hasn't dived for the path. It's gone to VNAV speed. So what do we do in real life? The easiest and most convenient way, and especially if you're above flight level 100, is increase your indicated airspeed. So let's try 320 knots. We're not under any direct speed control. Watch what happens to the path. 320. Hey! Shouldn't... well, it should get a bit steeper, but not that to that degree. I'm wondering how that's calculated. But now the aircraft's rate of descent will increase to 320 knots. And we just monitor the rate of descent. That's actually quite a good appropriate rate of descent. I'd anticipate accelerating to 320 knots. Be careful using speed brake when accelerating in descent like this, because you can get quite high rates of descent. So I usually like to let it accelerate to the speed, when it gets to the target speed, introduce a little bit of speed brake. Changed a little more than I was expecting, that path. So approaching 320. Why are we slowing down? 240 below 100. That's a bug. It's already decided to reduce the target speed to 240 at 14,000 feet. That is way too high. Level change. And now we have some weird pitch oscillation. Come on, level up. You're doing so well. So it shouldn't come to this decel point so early. even at 320 knots, maybe 1,000 feet above, it would command the decel. It's done that way too early. So I've gone level change, 310 knots, and we're breaking up. Why is it oscillating like that? Oops. That's not right. Flapping its wings. Interesting. Interesting behaviour. But the path's coming back. That is not realistic. You can safely use speed brake up to your VMO, no problem. That is not correct behaviour. Path's coming back nicely. Let's reduce speed so our wings stay attached to the aircraft. Oh dear. Let's see what happens when we slow down. So we'll keep the speed brake back. Speed brake out. Bring the speed back to 250 knots. Beautiful scenery out there. Let me just stow the speed brake. See if that helps. What's causing that? I think the autopilot's got it. Oh, that's helped. Now that shouldn't happen. Speed brake stowed in the climb. Let's just try the speed brake again. That might have been for me. I need to listen out to ATC, guys. Yeah, it's the speed brake. Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, go ahead.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa descent to 8,000 feet. QNH 1010.
Send at altitude 8,000 feet, QNH 1010, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. 8,000 feet checked, QNH 1010 set. Passing 9,700 for 8,000 feet. Standby altimeter is set. Path's coming back, so we'll slowly stow the speed brake. Yes, interesting behaviour. I don't know if that's the autopilot or the speed brake, but there's definitely an oscillation there, which shouldn't be happening. Right, post-cruise checks. Fuel, 4 pumps, lights, logo can come on. AP's off, pressurisation 3.2. Set belts on, recall, checks complete.
Lufthansa 576, contact the tower, 118, decimal 1.
118, decimal 1, Lufthansa 576, ciao. Approach, you want me to fly this heading? I didn't quite catch that message.
Keep updating the FMC. So below path slightly, that's fine. Go VS. Just do a shallow descent now. We'll still maintain 250 knots actually.
Okay, sorry, direct T. Please repeat.
Yeah, pitch, pos kill the. I hope you're doing well. You're a long-term watch of the channel. Pitch is way too sensitive by default. We had a real play of that after takeoff, and it was But and on the opposite effect, roll is not sensitive enough. Pitch power's not bad, but you'll see with flaps, it's not enough drag. Scotty 2, I think on Observer you can't. They can hear you, but they won't see you, so you don't want to do radio checks really. So 8,000 feet are coming up. Send checks complete. Done the post-cruise checks. Just level off at 8,000 for a short while. It's fine, slightly below path. See, I think it's just the autopilot. Look at this oscillation. It should be completely still. No, I think.
And Alpaca 8 Lima Papa descent to 5,000 feet.
It's an altitude 5,000 feet. Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Set 5,000 checked. Level change. Great, just waiting for the idents for the ILS of 109 decimal 1. The ident is KSI, as in the infamous YouTuber. Turn up the sound slightly. But yeah, level change, 250 knots. Maybe a slightly higher rate of descent, maybe more around 1700, 1800 feet. Not far off. Under vectors, keep updating the FMC. Can actually do the centre fix 19, that's fine. Whoa, that was a massive change in path. So getting rid of the last waypoint, that's interesting. Shouldn't be like that. 3060. that's more realistic now. I don't know why the profile changed so much by adjusting it, but yeah, 30 miles from touchdown, should be around 8,500, 6.4, that's more accurate now. But I don't know why VNAV path was showing me on profile before I updated it there. Interesting. Jim de Blythe, why do you keep selecting the same waypoint executing? That's what you do on the vectors on the Boeing 737 because it keeps VNAV up to date. It's every 30 seconds or so you keep updating the active waypoint, something I tried to do in the Airbus, but then all of a sudden nav engages and I'm flying towards the bloody thing. Level change works quite well, but it's got a little bit archaic on this approach.
Flight level 23.
So you see how the path, after I update it, will change. So 1,300 feet low, 1,700 feet low. So that's why we keep updating it on the vectors. I think this guy's on babysitting duty as well. So is this guy. I feel their wives might be in the background and partners cleaning.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa 10 left heading 275, descent to 3,000 feet.
Left heading 275 degrees, descend altitude 3,000 feet, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa.
Lufthansa Cargo 482 runway 19 and cleared for takeoff.
Looking beautiful. Sim does look nice, X-plane at night.
220 degrees at 13 knots.
19 could take off. That's Cargo 482.
Sounds on this are superb, I really like them, external sounds especially. I think the guy that makes the sounds for the FlyJ sim aircraft was involved with this. Right, that's looking good. Path's coming up. Still waiting for the idents for the ILS. I have tuned one in I1, yes I have. Very nice. There's the airport, the distance. What's with X-plane and boats? They love a boat now. Loads of boats in the harbour. Sims, great question, can you enable state saving? I have it off because I remember having it on in X-Plane 12 did cause crashes.
Alpaca 67 instruction 627 10 right heading 340.
So we'll start slowing down now.
340 Alpaca 627.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa 10 left heading 220, clear ILS approach runway 19.
Left heading 220 degrees on that heading, cleared ILS Zulu runway 19 at Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Great, we can redirect to the Foxtrot India point. X-keys. Showing me pretty much on path. And then we have the idents. Kilo Sierra India, Kilo Sierra India. Frequencies are set. Fixed rings we have for runway 19er. Standby instruments are set. Courses as well. Let's just run the approach checks.
Approach checklist. Altimeters and instruments.
So there's setting cross checks.
Approach 8.
Perfect. So the path's sort of come back a little bit on the approach again. It's putting me slightly below than the glide slope, but the glide slope is alive. We've got the localizer here. These are the NPS scales, the NPS option. So cleared approach, arm Vorlock, approaching 10 miles, flap 1.
Good day. Nordic 210.
Localizer alive, localizer capture, runway heading 1901 set. Get tower on standby. Flap 1 we have, flap 5, cleared approach.
And Alpaca 267, descend to altitude 8,000 feet.
Flap 5, glide slope capture. The missed approach altitude 4,500 feet is set. Look at that, isn't that stunning? Sim looks really nice. So the flap 5 drag model is very good. This is very nice indeed. Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, fully established ILS Zulu runway 19 at.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, contact the tower 118 correction, 121.9.
121.9. Thanks to the ATC and have a good weekend. Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Bye.
Right.
Yep, drag model flap 5, bob on. Perfect, really nice. This is idle thrust, it holds the speed. I'm going to have to go flap 10 just to bring that speed under control. So they've got the flap 1, flap 5, flap 10 drag model, really nice. With the landing flap though, not quite enough drag, which you'll see shortly. 1219 is tower, that's good. Cape Town Tower, hello, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, ILS Zulu runway 19, just past 9 miles. Bit more drag needed for flap 10. A little bit more drag needed for flap 10.
Continue approach runway 1 departure ahead.
Continue approach, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Yeah, flap 10 usually gives you enough drag to bring you to the flap 10 speed, especially with calm winds or no wind. So a bit more drag needed with flap 10. Yeah, this is the non-short field performance. So with flap 10 or greater, the leading edge devices are fully extended. 7 miles, 180, a bit faster than I'd like. We'll probably configure at 5 miles unless the speed comes back quickly. But the graphics look sensational, really nice. But yeah, a little bit more drag needed. Is there aircraft lining up? Can't see. Busy down there. Right, we're going to configure at 5 miles, so gear down, we're below 200 knots, flap 15. Landing checklist. Perfect, let's go.
Landing checklist.
Flaps 25.
Continuous.
Recall.
Checked.
Speed brake.
Below 175, flap 30.
Landing gear.
Down 3 greens.
Auto brake.
Auto brake 2 set.
Flaps.
Flaps 30 set. Green light.
Landing lights.
On.
Landing checklist complete.
Good, so we're flat 30 gear down, idle thrust, but the deceleration way too slow. There's nowhere near enough drag for this configuration. The speed would be dropping down really quickly. 19 clear to land, Alpaca 8 Lima Papa. Lights on, checklist complete. Nowhere near enough drag. This is crazy. We've had idle thrust for about 30 seconds with gear down flat 30. We'd be doing 90 knots by now. So when the speed stabilises with flat 30 on a 3-degree path, bear in mind this is a 3.2 degree path, so you know the rate of descent is still slow. This should stabilise at around 55-57%, but it's not. It's stabilising at around 48, so it's about 10% lower than usual. So nowhere near enough drag for the landing configuration. Let's do some hand flying. So just to show you again, pitch too sensitive, roll, watch this. It's like the Titanic in custard, my favourite saying. Yeah, roll weight is way too slow. Look at that. Should be upside down by now. Yeah. You know my saying, Titanic in custard. Pitch is not bad, but it's a little bit too sensitive. But the roll rate, it's like flying a B-52 in space. Right, checked. Pappy glide slope mismatch. I'm only following the Pappies now. They're coming back in on the glides. Thrust is so low. The thrust is like the max thrust setting, not the NG. Let's see how the flare is.
50, 40, 30,
check,
20,
close,
10.
Hold the attitude. Beautiful. Not bad for the flare. Speed breaks up. Gently lower the nose. Reverses. .100 knots. That was the exit I think I planned, but never mind. Manual braking. 80 knots. Cancel the reverse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cape Town. Not bad. But as discussed, not enough drag. Roll, very poor. Pitch too sensitive. But the flare was quite nice. Flare was quite realistic. There we go. And we'll vacate here to... Oh no, it is Charlie. That's where we planned. Perfect. Water brake 2 was too much. Put away water brake 1. Ah, beautiful. Lighting's very nice as well. Alpaca Lima Papa vacated Charlie.
Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, Captain Ground, hello, taxi stand, Alpha 14 via Charlie, Bravo and Alpha.
Stand Alpha 14 via Charlie, Bravo and Alpha. Alpaca 8 Lima Papa, thank you. Perfect. So Charlie, Bravo, and then Alpha for stand Alpha 14. Even I can't get lost. Yeah, not bad. We'll talk about it more on stand. Not bad. But the thrust was like 52% or 50% on final for a 60-ton 737. So it should be around 57, 58. That's the same M1 you have in the Max. And the issue is there's not enough drag with the gear and flaps. Flap 1, 2 and 5 though was very nice. It was just, as soon as I went flap 10 there really wasn't much of an increase in drag, but overall very nice. Much better than its initial launch in X-Plane 11 where there was a lot more many more issues. So yeah, you know what? The ZIBO still handles better, but the sounds and textures, this is a nice aeroplane to fly, and hopefully Threshold or the team at LevelUP will keep the aircraft up to date. Flaps finally up, I think they are. Good, let's tidy up then. Trim. Oh, look at the trim setting. Okay, wow. The aircraft was fully trimmed, properly trimmed when I landed, guys. Look where it is. That's well off. It's nearly fully nose down. That ain't right. So the weight and balance is, look at the stabilizer. It's almost pointing to the ground. Yeah, wow. Whoa! What the world is going on there? Yeah, don't mess around on VATSSA. It's not the place to do it, is it, you idiots? It's just... Anyway, so we'll continue continue cleaning it up. Yeah, the trim is well off there. I wonder what they've done. Interesting. Right, Alpha 14 is coming up. Oh, the sounds though are very nice. Perfect. Very busy here. Obviously, I've had some events.
FedEx 231, clear Johannesburg, flight level 390 on request after departure.
Alpha 16, Alpha 15, next left Alpha 14 for our stand.
2,500 feet, contact departure 119.7 and squawk 4715.
Just trying to get past the myriad of vehicles just driving around me.
Sorry, our frequency change as you start talking, FedEx 231, can you repeat that one more time?
Perfect. I've turned him down, I don't need him anymore. Perfect. Understand. Shut down engine number 2. Oh, I missed my GSX. That's caution ELEC associated. I'll try not to hit the cones. There we are. Perfect. Parking brake is set. Oh, the APU is taking a very, very, very long time to start. And it should be a little bit quicker there. Oh, I didn't put my taxi in music. There we are. Come on. It should have been a bit quicker than that. On bus, 2 blues, red, engine's dead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cape Town. Local time. I think it's 2 hours ahead, is it? 8:45 in the evening. Do the transit flow. Voice recorder on. Transponder. 2000 standby. Verify the N2's below 20%. Small down time, very nice. There we go, N2 below 20%, anti-coal off. Great. Ground power's available as well. Turn the APU, save a bit of fuel for Alpaca Airways. There we go. What do you think then? In chat, let me know. Nice landing, buttered it, that's all that matters. In Microsoft Flight Sim and X-Plane. Nancy, once again, best sim content on YouTube or anywhere else for that matter. Thanks for the jump seat capture. You're most welcome. Glad you enjoyed it. Tom Knudsen, nice to see you, buddy. Long time no see. You need to add some minor things, mate. For example, auto DGS to get the nice handsome marshal and accumulated snow plugin if not already done so. Nice flight. Thank you very much. I'll look into those plugins. Dr. Emmett Brown was talking to Pro Gamer. Sim 737 pilot as well. Vasila says there's a plug-in order to have marshals. Okay, I'll have a look into that. It's probably one that Tom was referring to. But yeah, the trim was well out there. But yeah, look, we discovered the aircraft in quite a lot of detail. Well, we explored the aircraft in a lot of detail today. Some things I really like. The sounds, the textures. The handling is okay. The drag model, flat 30, flat 40 gear, too slippy. Alright. We went gear down flat 15 and then flat 25, flat 30. And the thrust was idle for about 30-45 seconds. You would have to add thrust within sort of 15-20. There's so much drag associated with landing flap and gear. It was a slightly steeper glide slope, but not to the point where it wouldn't slow down as much as it did. As I said, rolls terribly, pitch a little bit too sensitive, but the landing technique I applied was quite nice. The check, close, hold, the aircraft handled in a similar manner to the real aircraft. So again, within the constraints of Desktop Simulator, it handles pretty well. So hopefully with some tweaking you'll get to enjoy the sounds and textures associated with the LevelUP series, with improvements and refinement in the flight model. But the ZIBO mod still handles better. Obviously that's had years of input and updates and feedback from many pilots, engineers, experts, etc, etc. So yes, Umar Whaley, order break's still on 2. Yes, I always leave one thing, just to make sure chat's being observant, and congratulations for spotting the one thing I forgot. You win nothing. No, you spotted it. Thank you very much, yes. So yeah, give it a go. Look, it's free to download. Get the X-Plane 12 demo if you're new to the sim and give it a try. But yeah, enjoyed this little sector this afternoon in Cape Town, somewhere a little bit different. Glad to have jumped back into this aircraft as well. And hopefully we'll see it again at some point. But looking forward to flying, hopefully tomorrow, with the A380 in Microsoft Flight Simulator, as I enjoy my days off with you guys. Excellent. If you have any comments, leave it in the comment section below and I'll try and get back to you. Right then, I've logged off of VATSSA. Let's just turn off everything in the background for the replay. We'll have a look at the landing, which I was very pleased with. I've had 2 butters, I'll have it, you know, in X-Plane recently, in a row. What do I do now? New skies off, overlay off, perfect. Let's see if I get the replay to work then. Music, replay music. Oops, let's make sure that's off. Right, drag is the key. Yes, I think the replay tool is a lot more stable in X-Plane now. Let's have a little look then. Crank up those sounds. It's a little bit low over the threshold, I think, but not too bad. External sounds are good on this aircraft as well. Very nice. There's the check. Checked a smidge high, just held the attitude look and let it settle. Boop. Textbook. Rip FPS. Will I zoom in though? Cheers, V-Skycheck. Hope you found it useful. Let Dev know of any feedback, because I think you're involved actively. Oh my goodness! With the ZIBO and I guess LevelUP. Let's have a look at that landing from here. Yeah, look, the attitude was a bit flat, but yeah, the trim was well off. Nice. It's very ZIBO-ish. Sounds are excellent. Really nice. Cheers, Rose. I hope you're doing well again. Thanks to the stream as always. Cap thoroughly enjoyed it today whilst I stuffed my face. As in Christmas tradition. Excellent. I've had all my turkey cobs. Because look at all the ground traffic here in X-Plane. Do one more touchdown and I must go. Beautiful. I just knew it was going to be a butter from the start of that flare. Sounds really good. Beautiful. Right then, I'll pop you here in the wing view so you can enjoy the approach. Is that tabletop mounted over there? I can never remember in Cape Town. I think so. Looked beautiful though in the sim there in the background. The night lighting is excellent. Whoa, that was me. Oh yes, that was the Titanic and custard demonstration. Well, you'll get to enjoy that with the replay. Perfect. Sounds are excellent. Look at the night lighting in this sim. Beautiful. Right guys, that's it today. first stream after Christmas, thoroughly enjoyable. Go check out LevelUP 737, completely free to download and Explain 12. I think they're quite active on Discord as well, so check out their Discord server for feedback and information regarding Threshold's LevelUP 737. Nice improvements over the one when it was released in Explain 11 2 or 3 years ago. Thanks to everyone that donated. Thank you to all the members for your continued support. Very much appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe to stay up to date with the latest content, just like Sadie and KTK did. And that'll make sure you turn on the bell icon so you're notified when I stream next. Hopefully see you tomorrow in the A380. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you then. Cheerio!
Do a barrel roll.